like a firestorm unleashed. Retro renegades, we're masters of the beast. In the realm of gaming, we reign supreme. The power mental warriors, fulfilling their dreams. We are axes gleaming and our swords held high. We slay the bosses as the legends amplify. From Mario to Sonic, we conquer every game. Retro renegades, we rise in glorious flame. Retro renegades, gaming's heavy metal crusade. We battle like warriors, never afraid. We are the retro renegades. We are the retro renegades.
Pepper.
It is not Wednesday. It is Tuesday.
It's Wednesday and we're
For me,
drinking
it's
Kool-Aid.
Wednesday. For me, it's Wednesday.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're excluding me.
I don't believe that's true.
Hey, it's Wednesday for Flemish and he's drinking Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Speaking of Kool-Aid,
I wish I could try it. I never had Kool-Aid.
you know what? You know what's actually delicious? Not Kool-Aid, but rum punch. You can put Kool-Aid in it if you want, but it's got two kinds of rum in it and lots of juice, and it could be Kool-Aid, and it's delicious. Love it. How's it going, everybody? It's Tuesday night. We're drinking beers. We're playing games. We're shooting the sheet. Shooting the sheet.
The sheet.
Flemish
That's
has
what I hold in it.
Flemish has decided to greet us and say hello and stay with us for a little while tonight. Say hello, Flemish.
I'm staying the whole damn day, man.
Oh, the whole damn day.
Hello.
Oh, wowzers.
The whole damn day.
Tonight we're playing something we've never played before, because I never had access to them before. We are playing Wii and Wii U. What do you think of that? Wii and Wii U. So since I
Is
bought
it the same game?
No. The Wii came out, and it had the two hand controllers like the nunchucks, and then the Wii U came out about 5 years later or 4 years later, and it had the big screen. It was kind of like the predecessor to the Switch in a way. Except the Switch you could take anywhere. The Wii U had to be within the confines of your home. So yeah, fun shit like that. So yeah, we're gonna play some of those games tonight. We got like a lot of really cool ones here. We got Donkey Kong Country Returns, The Godfather, GoldenEye, a bunch of Lego games, which I'm not gonna play because you know what? I actually don't care much for Lego games. I haven't found one that I really enjoyed.
What, Lego games?
I'm right there with you.
The newest Star Wars, that Skywalker Saga, I think it was called,
right.
that had all 9 movies. You know,
Is that one decent?
that was fucking cool, and it played so cool. That game is cool. I also like the Lego Movie video game. That one's fun too.
Right.
But that newest Star Wars one is fucking cool. Like, it's the humor in it and the way it ties in with the movies and shit. You know, it just makes fun of it. You know, and but it's still, I don't know, it still stays true to it too with the levels and shit. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust
but
you.
I know what you're
you.
saying about the Lego. I see what you're saying about Lego.
I just what? I'm listening.
You want to try the Metroid? I never saw that.
Oh, Metroid Prime is in here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna try that.
Yeah. How about the bowling? You stand up, do some
I
bowling.
don't
And
know.
now they're asking you.
I don't
Trump
have
asked
Wiimotes.
the administration for a job. You'd say yes because I'm America first. How do you...
I'm not trying to play
Kurt's called the
YouTube.
cops on this.
What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell?
Don't worry. That was my phone. I was actually trying to turn on YouTube to see how the stream was running. I gotta turn that off.
That was loud.
Oh, we got the first votes. Okay, I will not talk about that
Okay,
for
I
days.
gotta turn this down. I wanna make sure the stream is running good, because nobody seems to be chatting in the chat, which may mean the stream is not running properly, which could be a problem.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Let me look. I gotta get in there anyway.
Let's go. Retro Renegades. Oh no, we're live. I can see it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, we're live.
And hopefully
Yeah,
everyone can hear
it's sounding fine. You can hear everybody.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah.
Just fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, so
Yeah, man.
So let's start off, since you had a request of Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
Since
do
I've-
that, motherfucker. That's a
Since
good way
I've
to
never
start
played it, let's try it. But before we get started,
Pia! Kool-Aid!
Dr.
Kool-Aid.
Pepper.
Not daddy, daddy. It was out. I had to get natural ice. Like
Ooh, some-
bastard.
what? No,
How do you
I don't
say
have
natural
a.
ice? Give us a natural ice.
I don't have a
Do it.
pop-up for natural ice, unfortunately.
Yeah, do
That's
a
fine.
natural
Just
ice voice.
Just use the natty daddy one. That's fine. Natural ice.
Woohoo.
That's Mario's beer. Yeah.
Yeah, or Pillsbury.
Oh,
Doughboy.
I can do it better than that. Woo!
Mickey Mouse. Fuck yeah, we got all kinds of shit going on here. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do all the voices.
Hot dogs.
Oh yeah, that's much easier to swallow.
So Jay, you're gonna do this with mouse and keyboard, or how?
No,
you
no,
gonna
no.
play
I'm
this?
going to
Do
use
you
the
have
controller.
You use the Wii? No,
Yeah.
the controller.
So, like, some games, I gotta turn this down. Some games work with the controllers.
Yeah.
But we're
Interesting.
gonna
So-
determine which
You're
ones
playing
do.
the Wii, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
this-
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
we.
Yeah, like the nunchuck controller, like the two parts put together. What the biggest part was the controller. You just had to turn it sideways. It had-
Yeah, you turned
had
it sideways and it had, but
Yeah.
it didn't have a lot of buttons on it. But
No,
you
it had
know,
the crosshairs and 2 or 3 buttons.
Yeah, A and B and fucking
Yeah.
start and select.
See, look,
and-
this one says
Yeah.
nunchuck is required. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can play it.
Well, see, and you might have to use like the nunchuck, and it's got like a button underneath of it, right? So like you use that for part of shit, and then you'd probably use the other button. It might have required move and shit, you know. That's just like
Well, I mean, if it
I
doesn't
don't
work,
know,
we
it's-
pick it with another game. But
it's
Uh,
just
But
like
see, that's
playing-
terrible because if you play it without the nunchuck. I mean, that game is lost in time. Then if you don't have a nunchuck,
You're
you
right.
can't play it. Period. Stupid.
right.
yeah,
Why do developers do that?
yeah, it doesn't seem to wanna. Oh, I can.
That
Yeah,
means-
okay. I mean, if
that
that's the
mean-
case, we're not gonna play. I mean,
Oh, wait a second. I can move this up here. I can pick a person. Game start. Let's just see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. See if you play.
I don't know. See, I never owned a Wii. I had
didn't.
neighbors
I
that
had-
I had a Wii. I had a Wii.
I still have one. Like
You have to
fucking-
Wii. Where the bathroom? Where the bathroom is at?
did. The Wii.
Wii.
Yeah, I have a Wii, like, but like all I ever had was that fucking bowling game, and
Bowling?
Yeah, the bowling.
that's the shit that came with it, you know.
You
the
should have
fucking
came with it.
Wii
Yeah,
Sports.
that was the best. That was the best game.
Yeah, and then I got
There was like this
Big
gun
Buck
game.
Hunter, and it came with like these like things where you put the controller in like a gun thing and shit, you know.
All right.
But it was just so off, dude. Like that needed to be precision, you know what I'm saying? And it was just off. There was no way you could get it to
Yeah.
work. It wasn't precise enough, you know. It was cool, but it just, I don't know. They've not come up with the gun that works on fucking flat screen televisions. I mean, they
no.
haven't come up with something that works good. They just
Did they? I have a question. Did they not bring like time crisis? Did they not bring to the Wii? I think I remember.
yeah, they probably had it, but it would have played okay,
would've
but it
sucked
would have
playing
been.
it,
It would have been not that great. Like it would have
Yeah.
just played. You would have missed and shit. You'd be like, oh, okay, this is fun playing it, but
They're not that
it's
accurate.
not
on the flat
precise and
screen
accurate.
TVs.
Yeah, I know Arcade won up for like Terminator 2 in their time crisis to make those light guns work on those screens. They put like a white border around the screen.
So you're actually shooting like that. The
And
white
that
border
made
was
'em-
what registering.
Yeah, so that made those register good because I don't think I ever heard people say they were problems.
No.
So that's the way they fixed it with the flat screen on those. But yeah, just like I said, Flamish, that Big Buck Hunter, it was cool, but it was just off, and it didn't matter how you moved those little sensors, or it didn't matter how you you could like try and sit on the floor low or stand up high, or like it wouldn't change it. It would just it would. It would
know why it
change
was
it, but
off?
you'd just be off a different way,
You
like,
know why it was off? Because you were playing on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. Yeah.
So,
it was.
remind me, the Wii came out during the 360 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember what year it came out, but yeah, it
It's
was,
like
it was,
2007, I want to say. 8.
that
7?
sounds something like that. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
out before. It was out at least 2010. Maybe probably sooner, but 2010 at the.
It
latest.
was out before I met my ex. I met my ex in 2008.
Well, actually, I'm gonna surprise you. So it's actually 2006.
Really?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I was gonna say 2006, Flamish. I almost said it. But, you know, I was like,
Years.
oh.
You're so
After
full
the
of
fact,
shit.
like-
You're so full of shit.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I actually was thinking
GameCube?
2006 when I said
When did the
2007, it might have been
the
2006.
GameCube didn't last very long then.
It was like 3-4 years.
Huh.
They realized they fucked up when they gave away everybody bought the Wii to get the best game and they packaged it with it. I mean, they kept selling, but after a while, people were like, I knew people that only bought it for the Wii Sports. And
Yeah,
after
that's what I had it for. Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, it just.
I had
they
a
quit-
couple of the
quit
games for
playing
it, but yeah, that was it. You know, I mean,
They
that
had to move
bowling,
on.
that Wii Sports bowling was some of the funnest shit. You know, and
Right.
one of the best packing games ever. You know, like it was
Yep.
great. You know, like but, yeah, like trying to play Madden on that thing and actually like trying to throw it like with the controller and shit. I lost the novelty of it like pretty quick.
Yeah, it got old pretty quick after a while.
And if as for wondering why the GameCube didn't last that long, it's because you couldn't play a fucking CD in the damn thing.
Right. Yeah. They.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Those little
that-
mini. Those
yeah.
little mini CDs were weird. Yeah. I don't know why they.
And that was a down selling point. Why the hell should I have this thing that I can't even
Well, Nintendo had done it with the GameCube. They had their tiny disc, and they just stuck with
Yeah.
that format.
See, I don't know why they. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. You know, you were so stubborn to go to CD, and you stuck with the.
Because
with the
Nintendo
cartridge.
always wants to do their own thing. They're
Yeah,
like,
and then
That's it.
yeah, and then you come out with the CD-based thing, and you come out with these little fucking tiny ass little CDs and shit.
I was like,
you
when
know,
I saw it for the GameCube, those discs, I was like, where in the fuck did it? Why did these exist? Nintendo?
Well, the fact that the tray could hold a full size CD and you couldn't play it though, or
Yeah.
DVD. It
Yeah.
just, it didn't make sense,
That was about the time I was like, I am so over Nintendo and their gimmicky bullshit. They had to make their own CDs. I'm sure.
Right,
part
I
of that was
never.
trying to keep people from like copying the games
Right.
too, you know.
Yeah, I never
God.
paid any attention to Nintendo. Like, well, even the Wii, I didn't really pay much attention to it. But even 64, I didn't like have a ton for that. I didn't even have that
Me
one
neither.
for too long. But
Me
like,
neither.
yeah, the GameCube was the final. Like, I was like, nah, I
I
didn't even
love it.
have one, but like people had
I
them. I
did.
was like, this isn't even like.
I
this
told
isn't
you what I
good.
bought it for Resident Evil 4. That's it.
They had Resident Evil 4 and they had Metroid Prime or some shit like that, and it was cool. But fuck it, I had a PS2 and shit, you know. Fuck it, like I didn't need that, you know.
A lot of times, not a lot, but I'll say sometimes Nintendo's wanting to do their own fucking shit. It bit them in the ass.
Yeah. But they definitely turned it all around from those, it's from the Wii U debacle for their Switch. Or
Dude,
whatever,
I
they
was like
definitely-
most people that you heard. People like you heard the rumors that people. When I saw the Wii U commercial, I legit and they showed the screen. I legit thought it was the screen add-on, like a lot of people probably did. I'm like, the Wii
Oh,
U,
like it was
like the tablet was an add-on for the Wii. I literally
Right.
thought that's what it was.
yeah. I didn't really know much about the Wii U. Like I don't think I know anybody that had one of those.
I remember seeing the
Like-
fucking commercials. Remember the Wii commercials we would like to play? Then I remember seeing the commercials for
Yeah, I
the
probably
Wii U would like to play. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. They got a tablet for this thing now? I'm like, oh my god. That's terrible. Wasn't clear at all. Marketing was not great.
Yeah, it sold like crap too. So
It sold like ass, dude.
I can't
The
remember
Wii U
what it was,
did?
like
Yeah, it sold
13
like
million or something like that.
Well, the
Wasn't-
problem
wasn't
with
a
it
lot.
was it was a cool handheld device, but it wasn't mobile. That was the
shit.
problem.
It wasn't like to certain.
It was like the PS Portal.
So
Yeah.
you had to be like in the same house like with the
Yes.
console part of it.
Yes.
Like you couldn't
Yes.
even take it anywhere. Okay.
It's like
No.
an extension of your console,
Right.
but it wasn't
was.
like to go.
Fuck all
It's
that.
like-
If I'm sitting in
it
my
was-
house, like I'm just playing it on the TV.
The tablet
like,
legit was for like if somebody wanted to use the TV,
you can still play your game like leave the console on. They can change the TV and you can play on that screen.
Right, I got you. Just like the porta potty.
Like the portal.
Yeah.
Like the PS
Portal
Yeah,
potty?
if you need to go
Is that
take a
how you
fat
call it?
shit, if you need to take a fat shit, and you can't go without playing a video
Like,
game,
I
take a fat
legit
shit, then-
heard people talking about they would take it to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, porta
And
potty.
then your butt cheeks get all red because you're sitting on the toilet for like an hour because you forgot
I
to
was
on the
gonna say, what are you
toilet.
doing in the bathroom? Jesus.
I don't know how to play this game. I don't know how to get around. I'm trying
Yeah,
to-
the original
I think the
Xbox
problem.
sold 24 million. The GameCube sold 21 million. The Quest 2 sold, well, I guess it's supposed to be 20 million. And then the Wii U sold 13.56. That's terrible.
Oh, so they're trying to name off like the kind of the worst, the worst of the big names, kind of things. Yeah. Because I'm sure
That's
like
terrible.
3DO probably didn't sell even that, or
You know, like back in the day, like to be honest with you, back in the day, if you sold 50 million consoles, that was
oh, that would
amazing.
have been fucking that would have been.
But-
PlayStation 2, 155.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Ever since the PlayStation 2 broke all those records, it was like
That was-
they expected it every
expected it.
generation.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't
and-
do that. Only
and
reason
as
it's sold
everybody
as many is
knows,
because
yeah,
of the
the-
Blu-ray player.
Yeah, the DVD player, like hell, it was cheaper to buy that fucking PS2 than it was to buy a Sony DVD player.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
I mean, I'm
Nintendo
sure the Sony
DS.
DVD player itself, like if you just bought it by itself, it's probably a better DVD player. But who cares?
I bought it
man?
because it played Blu-ray or DVDs and.
Well, it
video
was
games.
the PS3 is the one that played Blu-ray, and that's the one that became the most common Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
and that's
I
why
thought that
somebody
was good.
came to my house and sold me a PS3 for $20. That's why I was like, "Fuck it, I'll take that just for the Blu-ray player."
The
you know?
Nintendo
Fucking, yeah.
DS sold 154. PlayStation 2 155. The Switch.
The
at
Switch.
Whenever,
yeah,
whenever
the
this
Switch
was made, fucking was made, was at 146.
Yeah, the Switch.
Game
They'll
Boy and
keep-
Game Boy Color 118. PlayStation 4 117. PlayStation 102. Wii 101. God, it outsold the Wii U like a motherfucker. PlayStation 3 87. Xbox 360 84. Game Boy Advance 81. PlayStation Portable. It's saying estimate of 80 million. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, the PSP.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Nintendo 3DS 75, the NES 61, PlayStation 5 61, Xbox One 58, the Super Nintendo 49,
Pretty good for Xbox One, man. That's pretty
Nintendo
good.
Nintendo 64 32, the Genesis 30, Atari 2600 30, Xbox Series X and S 28.3, the original Xbox.
What was the Super Nintendo versus the Sega Genesis?
Genesis was 30.
Genesis was 30, yeah.
The Super Famicom, which is the Super Nintendo, was 49.
Okay, so they
That'd
they,
be about right.
they
yeah,
beat
I'd
out
say
Sega in the end.
Genesis by about 14 million consoles. The GameCube
Yeah.
21, Wii U 13.5, the PlayStation Vita 10 to 15 million. I knew it didn't suck. The Master System 10 to 13. I don't know what the V Smile and V Motion is. 11. Game Gear 10.6. PC.
Holy shit, the
Engine,
Game Gear sold that much? Damn.
PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, 10 million. Sega Saturn 9.2. Dreamcast 9.13.
Damn, that's not bad for a couple
Super
years
NES Classic Edition, the small one a couple years ago, 5.28. The NES Classic Edition, 3.56. There's some other shit I ain't never heard of. The Intellivision, 3 million.
Oh, that's it on the television, huh? Yeah.
The N-Gage, you remember guys hearing that?
Oh,
shit,
yeah,
the
the
phone
N-Gage,
or whatever?
The
3
what?
million. 3 million. The N-Gage, 3 million.
About-
ColecoVision, 2 million.
How about the CDI?
The 3DO interactive multiplayer, 2 million.
Yeah, I knew that thing did. Yeah, Neo Geo is probably less than that.
Neo Geo
yeah.
Pocket, Pocket
Oh.
Color, 2 million. Magnavox Odyssey, 2 million. Sega SG-1000, wasn't that the original Sega
That was
Master?
before the Master System, yeah.
2 million. Oculus Go, that was that portable thing that hooked to your phone. You turned your phone into a VR, 2 million.
Oh, I remember
Atari,
shit, yeah.
Atari 7800, 1 million. Remember the Atari Lynx? 1 million.
Yeah.
The Philips CDI.
CDI, yeah, what'd that do?
1 million.
That sold a fucking million?
Wow.
Yeah. Telstar, if you guys remember that thing, 1 million. The Atari 5200, 1 million, and then the Pegasus, whatever the fuck, Family Clone, 1
So
million.
they didn't even put like the Jaguar on there.
Nope, didn't put the Jaguar on there.
Boy,
Nope.
Game Boy. I didn't even hear Game Boy.
Okay,
That means the Jaguar.
one second,
that means the
one
Ja-
second, guys. Jay,
that means
you
the
have to
Jaguar
hold
sold
the
like
visor and then move your thing to the top.
To the
Just
top of
select
what?
the top option. No, your cursor has to go to the top in the visor, like to the top one. Yes, and then let go.
It didn't do anything.
Man, like but yeah, that's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah,
list
they
there.
didn't put the Jaguar.
It's hard to
on
do with
here
one
or the-
hand.
Or the Virtual Boy, so they must have sold like.
I would just
absolute
start
ass.
something else.
It
then.
wants
Oh,
to
I'm
hold
sure
3
that-
buttons at the same time.
I'm sure that Virtual Boy sold.
Yeah,
like
maybe
fucking-
it's not good for one hand.
I bet
so-
that thing didn't sell 100,000.
Hell no. The Jaguar must have sold like total shit too, cause it ain't on here.
Oh yeah, there's no way that thing did good. There's this.
I owned one.
Rod, I get you. Yeah, I get you. I didn't have one. I didn't have or a Lynx. I didn't have a Lynx.
There was
either.
actually a couple of good games on it. One of the best.
Oh, it had
Alien
a
versus,
few.
Alien versus Predator games.
Yeah, it had a few. It had a few exclusives on there too. I can't remember what they were, but it had like a few games to draw you in.
Kasumi Ninja.
Tempest 2000 or something. You know, like,
Yeah.
but you know, like,
Yeah,
You know,
it,
it
wasn't,
had-
wasn't worth buying.
yeah. Even wasn't the controller like even fucking weird ass looking and shit? It was just
Yeah,
like,
it was like a controller at the top with it was a D-pad and 3 buttons A, B, and C on a kind of diagonal, and then at the
Right.
bottom, which is the majority of the controller, it was like buttons 1 through 9 and 0, like a calculator or some shit. It was weird as fuck.
like a fucking television.
It was
controller?
it was rubber buttons 1 through 9 and 0, of course, and then what it was is there were little overlays you could put over it, like
Like a television had.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It was the dumbest controller. People talk about the Duke
I
controller with
thought
the
it had a
B.
dumbass controller. I just couldn't remember what it looked like. But I remember.
People
that,
talk
yeah.
about the Duke controller was terrible. That was the worst controller I've ever used in my life, hands down.
You know, the
Terrible.
Duke wasn't that bad. I like the Duke
I like the Duke,
I
but
do
I like
too.
the
I like-
the S when the S came out.
because
I like
I like the Duke because I have really big hands. See?
Well, listen,
Yeah,
listen who's
Duke was
bragging,
okay.
but his big hands.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Someone's
but
compensating for something.
But I gotta. But when the S came out, it felt so small in my hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine's their fault. I had to get a magnifying glass so I could see it. It makes me
No, you know what I mean. Jesus Christ.
Oh my
And-
god.
I know.
Oh Jesus Christ.
No, like legit, the Jaguar controller was the worst one I've ever used, hands down, dude.
Worst controller. Yeah, I didn't use that one. I'm trying to think. Like
It was worse than the Nintendo 64.
I was gonna say the
controller.
N64 was a turd.
I mean, the Jaguar controller was even ugly. It was just ugly as shit. I don't know what they were thinking.
I didn't like. A lot of people like say they like the GameCube controller. I didn't like that either. I didn't like that. It was so fucking tiny and like it had
Yeah,
like
it
a little.
was.
It had like a little Lucky Charms piece for a D-pad and shit.
Yeah, I
dude.
didn't
Oh,
like it.
dude, it was just so tiny and petite. It was just. I was like, dude, this controller. I mean, I had a decent layout of the buttons, but it was so.
I don't know what the
fucking
fuck I'm
small.
doing here. Not playing this game anymore.
Yeah, hey, I can tell you how many Jaguars were sold and why they didn't put it on the fucking list. 250,000. That's terrible.
Oh, I said.
We
I would have said under 100,000. So okay.
The list only went down to 1 million, so that's why.
Damn.
1
Oh,
million.
That probably sold less than the fucking Amico pre-orders. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Hey, I actually had a Jaguar in my house.
See, I never had one of those either.
No, I didn't have one of those. No, that was one I skipped over because there was so much when in the era that was coming out. There was so
There was so
many
much, dude.
choices. Like Sega had Sega CD 32X, and then the Saturn. They had fucking a million things coming out, and then you had the PSX
Yep.
and 3DO. like there's just like there's so many systems coming out at that point. Turbo graphics, you know, like I ended up getting one of those around. Like I might have had one that earlier. I don't know. There was just everything was so crammed together. That, I don't know. There was too
Some
many
reason,
to buy.
I just put a picture of the Jaguar in the controller.
Turbo graphics would have been way more than that, but still, you know, like.
For some reason, I thought it was a cool looking console. Looking at it now, it looks like shit. I put a picture of it and the controller in the DM. You want to
Yeah, it just. Even their like advertising slogan was lame, if I remember correctly. Like it was.
It was.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like some 3-word slogan. It was just. It's just awful. I was like, man, it's like nothing's gonna come to this.
No.
I mean,
And
at that time, I was kind of into like arcade ports and shit. I mean, you just knew they weren't coming to that fucking thing, you know.
Come to find out too later on that it wasn't really 64-bit. It was more like 32.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even like it wasn't like it was two 32s or something.
Yes, you are. They added it together and said it's 64. No, that's bullshit.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna play Donkey Kong Country Return. So this is basically the sequel to Donkey Kong Country from the Super Nintendo, I think.
Yeah, and the Game Boy.
They had one on the 64 too.
I think in the Super Nintendo, I played it on the Super Nintendo. I still remember. That was actually a really good game. I loved how you could exploit level 1 and just get infinite lives.
This was the Super Nintendo one?
No.
I never played.
No.
Which one is this?
This is the Wii one, but
Oh, yes, I never played this one. The last one
Yeah,
I
I
played
never
was on the
played this.
Nintendo 64.
Wii.
I was over Nintendo.
Yeah, they
at
had
this
one
point.
on the 64 and they had one on the Super Nintendo, and then they had like a fucking Diddy Kong game too.
Yeah. I was over it at this point with Nintendo.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't playing. Like I never played like Zelda Windbreaker or fucking
Wind Waker? Oh.
yeah, Wind Waker,
Wind
Breaker,
Waker.
whatever.
Windbreaker. Like it's
yeah,
like he's
Windbreaker.
shitting. He's farting. Windbreaker.
Yeah, Windbreaker. That's why. Yeah.
I really wish I could try that one because that one actually looked cool.
What was that on? Was that on the Wii? Was that the one on the
That
Wii?
was on the
Wii U?
Wii U, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Wii U thing.
Yeah. See, the
Was
last Zelda game I played like for a long extended period of time was not Okra, Majora's Mask, because that one came out second on the 64, right? I mean, that one. The first
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So Majora's Mask, and that game was okay. I mean, but it wasn't near as good as Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever beat.
Oh my
Ocarina of Time. Yep.
And yeah, I never played another. I never like just sat down and cracked open a Zelda game and just enjoyed it from start to finish like that. You know, like.
So, the first Zelda I ever played was Zelda 2. Zelda 2 was on the Nintendo.
Yeah,
I didn't know what was going on in that game.
That game was just so like after
That was
playing
so weird.
It was so it was so weird.
It was
wasn't
not even meant to be a
bad.
Zelda game, I don't think.
Right. That,
They reskinned
what
it
it
at the
was.
end, I think.
It just wasn't good like in the first one. The first one was so classic and
I
just so
agree.
awesome. And then you got that. I don't know what they were doing with that. Those
It was a side-scroller.
scrolling missions.
Yeah.
Not missions, but side-scrolling levels and shit. Like
I
That was
didn't
about the
understand
time they
any
come
of it.
out with Mario 2 that wasn't supposed to be a Mario game either. So they're like, fuck it,
yeah,
we'll do it with
yeah.
Zelda.
That Mario game. I don't know. Yeah, Mario 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was supposed to be something else too. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was, right, Jacob? But it was supposed
Yeah.
to be something else.
It wasn't
And they
a Mario
didn't
game
want
when
it-
they developed it.
And they didn't want to bring the Mario 2 from Japan because it was super ass
Yep.
hard, and they thought people
Yep.
wouldn't like it here. It was super ass hard game though.
the funny
And Mario
thing
Mario
was-
2 was okay. Like it was cool for what it was, but it definitely wasn't with no Mario Brothers 3 or
No.
1. You know, like
Oh, Super Mario 3.
Mario 3
like,
is still the
ah,
pinnacle. It's still the
meh.
pinnacle. They'll never fucking beat Mario 3. It's they can try all they want, man. That was.
But 2 was 2 not more based on like Japanese style? I don't know. It was like it was
freaks?
very different. It was very different than I
like
ever
Diego
saw.
said, it was supposed to be some other game, and then they
Yeah.
took it and turned it into a Mario game.
Yep.
Same with the first one, like the very first Mario, basically Mario game on the Game Boy, on the original Game Boy. Oh my god, that
Oh,
was
like
also really good.
the Super Mario Land. Something about the 6 coins.
Yeah, Super Mario Land. Yeah.
What's going on with this thing? It's
That
not-
was a good game. See, I liked Mario
bad.
World on the Super Nintendo and that Game Boy one you're talking about. They just weren't as good as Mario 3.
It was supposed to be. It was
But I
supposed to be.
loved Mario World. That shit was awesome.
Super Mario 2 was supposed to be turned or built as Doki Doki Panic. I guess is what it was supposed to be called.
Okay, I would have never have guessed that in a million years. But okay, yeah, it was supposed to be something else though, like
A
Jacob said,
Doki
like-
Doki.
Hey,
whatever the
Dread,
hell that
what's happening?
is. And then they turned
What's
it
up,
back.
Dread?
They turned it. There was a tech demo. Then some guy named Fuji, I don't know, came in with money to make it a Doki Doki game. Then turned back into a Mario game. So.
See, do they say anything about that? Like Zelda 2 being that same thing, like where it should have been something else, but they just, because it's so
Let me
weird
see
that
if I
they.
can find something about it actually.
Yeah, Adventures of Link. That's what it was called, right? Like it
Yeah.
just wasn't. It just didn't hit the same, man. It just wasn't. It was still okay. Like it was still okay. I just liked hacking and slashing at the monsters on the map. You know, like Zelda 1 and 3. You know, like those were the best. Zelda 3 was the best. Like it was the best. Or a lot of people say Ocarina of Time. You know, which okay, I get you there on that too. I said I really haven't sat down and just played through one and enjoyed them like I used to. Like, what's that newest one? What's that newest one called?
I don't know.
Nobody can even remember. What is that newest one?
What
Yeah.
the new
Tears
Twilight
of the-
Princess? No.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the
Tears
Kingdom.
of the fanboys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom
Tears
is
of-
the
Tears-
latest
yeah,
one.
Tears of-
yeah.
I know that Super loves that game, but I've tried to play it, and even I got a copy of it from Tharkus. I just haven't had it.
Nah, but see, it doesn't
just-
still got that same
doesn't-
breaking weapon shit and fucking
Yeah, to me it didn't do
crafting
much for me.
shit and fucking. No, fuck
If
that,
they
man.
if I swear, like if they could change like the basically if they could mod that game to where the weapons don't break, it would
Right,
feel
see,
50%
fuck that
better.
breaking weapon shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
right.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking game.
But I will say one thing, like in general, like even the other one that came before, what was it again? Not Tears of the Kingdom, but like
yeah,
the previous one. You
ah,
everybody
man.
knows that one.
I
Everybody
know
knows
what
that
you're
one.
talking about. Yeah.
So basically, I didn't like that one
I
either.
can't remember the name of that one. What was the name of that? Yeah. Yeah, because I had that one had the breaking weapons too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here you
it
go.
just
Here
it
you
played
go.
so different.
It was made by an entirely different team without Miyamoto's involvement. It wasn't supposed to be a Zelda game.
Yeah, cause see, Miyamoto. I remember seeing a fucking
That makes sense.
a TV show talking about Nintendo and how they had him make Mario and shit, you know, and then he wanted to make this open world game and this and that and fucking, you know, he ended up having all the plans, even though yeah, it does look eerily similar to some game on Sega or whatever, you know. So I think he got it. I think he got his shit from that, you know. But anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, like, so if he had nothing to do with that, man, he was such a mastermind, you know, fucking. So it wasn't him at all. So they force the game out just to have another Zelda game.
I'm trying to find this quote this is on Reset there, and the quote that you can read before you click on it. It says, "Adventures of Link was developed by different teams than the first game, partly because it wasn't meant to be a Zelda game
Yeah.
first." So I clicked on it trying to find the rest of that, if there's any more to that, and now I'm having to read.
I
through
would
the
love to
comments.
hear the rest of that. That makes sense. That makes sense because it just there's not much of that like that has a feel of a fucking.
The main thing I could find, the best thing I found was what I just read. It was made by an entirely different team without Miyamoto's involvement. This is all in people's like, what people are putting in.
And
the
you
thread
guess,
over
and
there.
you bet fucking Miyamoto, and you know he was too. Went right back Zelda 3 to fucking rectify that situation right there, man. Fucking.
Oh,
This guy,
the Link to the
this
Past
guy
is like
also-
one of my favorite games of all time.
This
What's
guy
that?
actually says under what I read you, he says, "I have vague memories of this being discussed quite extensively in one of Iwata's asks." but don't quite quote me on it.
What'd you say, Jay? You say what?
I
Zelda
said
3
Link
is
to the
a-
Past is one of my favorite
Link
games
to the
of all
Past.
time.
Oh, it's one of my favorite games ever too. Yeah, I'm telling you, that game is so fucking good, dude. I
that-
love that
is-
game.
Is that the one that they remake into like the?
I think they remade it a couple times.
It's
Yeah, the last one, like a couple of years ago.
Oh,
no,
the
no, that was Link's Awakening.
Link's
That was
Awakening.
more-
That
Ah,
was actually
okay.
a
there's
Game
so many
Boy
good
game, wasn't
games.
it?
That was a Game Boy kind of version of
Yeah.
Link to the Past. Link to the Past was the Zelda game on the Super Nintendo, and it fucking was one for the ages. I mean,
Oh
it just,
yeah.
everything about that game was just from the opening part of the story and shit. The whole
music-
story.
the music in that game was
music was
so
fucking
good.
just unreal. The gameplay, the way they left it, like the original, but added just enough to
Oh.
make it just like putting stuff in the bottles or going to visit that fairy and whatever the hell that, I can't remember what that was, and the Master Sword and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they added just enough to make it fresh. In the Dark World and shit, and going back and
Yeah.
forth with that mirror and shit. That shit was awesome. That was the best one. That was the best one. That. If I had to just quick think of a top 5 games, that would definitely be on it. You know what I'm saying? Like top 5 favorite games, I'd definitely
Yeah.
be on
Me
it.
too. Me too.
Yeah, for me, like the only game I really finished was Ocarina of Time, and that was on the 3DS. I saw
What
that
the
game
hell
on
is that
sale.
noise?
That's Jago.
That's yours revenge.
I think Jago's trying to talk, but this is coming out as
No, I'm not saying
Oh,
anything.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
sitting here reading. I'm reading, trying
Okay.
to find some more about this Zelda game.
It sounded like you were saying stuff, and it was going.
Yeah, but I want to say like Ocarina of Time is so special for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh
Is
no,
that the, like,
I
the first-
completely understand if somebody
Is
says
it-
that's their favorite Zelda game. I would completely understand that.
Is that the
but-
first 3D based game where you could actually have an open
Yeah, it
world
was the
type
first 3D.
deal?
It was I mean that one on the CDI might have been 3D shit. It probably was, but no, that's the first.
Oh, here you go. I
Zelda,
found it.
Yeah, it was the
The
first.
Adventures of Link was developed by a different team than the first game, partly because it wasn't meant to be a Zelda game first. Development began with Shigeru Miyamoto contemplating
yeah.
how a side-scrolling action game that used up and down movements for attacking and defending could be fun to play. Miyamoto wanted to include the kinds of actions that couldn't be incorporated in the original Legend of Zelda into a game, and Tadashi Sugiyama, a graphic designer at Nintendo that had contributed to games such as Ice Climber and Baseball, was attached to Direct. Joining Sugiyama as the co-director was Yamamura, and Tezuka came up with the concept for the game's story. Tezuka did not contribute maps designs as he had on the first Zelda game, and was instead working on Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. 3. Meanwhile, replacing Koji Kondo as a composer was a whole nother dude who had composed music for Ice Climbers 2 years prior.
Oh
So there you go.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Huh? That's cool. Yeah, that game. Even the side scrolling was even clunky on it too.
Do you want to
Did
get
you
that?
know? Did you know that Yoshi was Miyamoto actually wanted to put Yoshi? I can't remember if it was Super Mario Brothers 1 or 3. I can't remember which one, but he wanted Yoshi in that. But the fucking limitations of the Nintendo wouldn't let him wouldn't
I
allow
think
it.
that would have been 3 because 3 was jam packed.
I'm sure it was 3. I'm sure it was 3 too. But...
Shout out to Axel for the iconic video games for the $2 super chat. He says, "Man, a link to the past, stay in the past." I agree, sir.
He's always got to come in here with some kind of bullshit, man.
The bullshit.
He knows. He's just trying. Yeah. He knows.
I love it.
He just throwing a silent shot my way because he knows that's my shit right there. But thank you very much, Axel, for that
Yeah,
$2.
appreciate it, Axel.
You piece
Woohoo.
of motherfucking shit. Thank you.
See, I'm not a Zelda fan. I only played the first one. I knew I didn't like it, so I was done with that franchise. So I never played the second one, but I didn't realize it was a totally different game either. So I just.
Yeah,
Oh,
and-
you- if
Like
you
it would have
did you-
monsters like crawling around on the map, and they'd just be kind of going like kind of weird. And if you ran into them, it'd go into a side scrolling shit.
Oh boy.
Like you didn't hack your your sword at them or anything. You know, it just did a side scroll and shit. Like, and it just
It
it's just
felt so off.
weird.
It felt
Yeah, it,
so off.
oh, it's just so fucking.
So
Even as a-
you're saying that's
as
the
my-
best Zelda game. Got it.
And then when they went to Link to the Past, dude, it was just like, it was just like that old game, but just better. You know,
That's
but,
because people
but
bitched about
perfect.
it so much. They were like, I
Yeah.
want it like it was in the original one, so that's why they went back. Because, like, they didn't, like, they wouldn't automatically make a sequel back in the day like they do now, like if a game sells a bunch. Like, so
Yeah.
that's why they would try something different, like back in the day. Like Mario, like that's why they weren't afraid to release Mario 2 like it was, or something like a
Well,
lot different than the first one. And when the people started bitching, they're like, go back to the way it was. So that's why they went back to the way it was and made it better. And like the third one on Zelda and the third one on Mario Brothers.
I think back in the day they just could experiment more as well. That's why
They could,
more games
yeah.
came out, because
Yeah, yeah.
they didn't have to take years to develop a game.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep. And games didn't cost $700 billion to make, so if it didn't sell that well, they didn't shut the studio down. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now hang on a second. You know, even if it didn't cost that much, it still could have been a big chunk of the studios. You know,
Well,
remember
yeah.
inflation and all that, so you can't. You know,
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think like,
Okay, but if you look at games now from back then, right?
well,
Instead
that's
of now.
that's just upgrades in technology, dude. Is what a lot of that is.
Yeah, okay, upgrades in technology, but it takes-
and the demand for better games is what brought along a lot of that upgrades in technology.
oh yeah.
But that's my point. Like, they always want to make games better, right? But back in the day, they were also good in their own right, but they were just like easier to develop, I would say. I do not want to say easier to develop because that's wrong to say. but,
Quicker to develop.
Well,
different,
because
different
well,
to develop.
no, in some ways they were simpler. I mean, they were
Yeah.
flat out. They were simpler to develop. And if
Less
you really look at them,
mechanics.
a lot of the mechanics were cookie cutter even back then.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
because of the limitations of the technology and what they could do. You know,
But is it not also they had more of a single identity, while now they want to be everything together?
not necessarily. I mean, it was just a lot of that was driven by the fact that they could only do so much.
Jago, does it name like any of those things you're looking at, like what the name of the development team was, like was working on like that Zelda 2 or Super Mario 2? That's what I always found weird
Yeah,
about.
Super
like,
Mario 2 wasn't supposed to be a Mario game either.
Right, I was always thought that like weird about like Nintendo. And still now they never really have like names of development teams or like Insomniac or fucking.
Well, because it's all in house, pretty much.
Yeah,
It-
see,
it is what
they
it
just
is.
have different. They just have teams, and they just
Yeah.
put them in different buildings or some shit or some.
Even then, you could see by what they did. Like this game wasn't really intended to be Mario. That game wasn't intended to be Zelda.
Right.
It's because even back then they were feeding off the IPs and the names that they knew would sell well.
Right, and they prayed, and maybe they had just a bunch of other had a bunch of teams going at it, and like okay, hey, we're gonna grab this and use this and fucking.
Plus, the
I don't
teams
know,
were probably a lot smaller than too.
Yeah.
I mean, a
Yeah.
lot smaller. It's like,
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Credits.
Like, I didn't,
The
I
credits
didn't mean-
didn't roll for nearly as long back then as they do now.
I'm sure if a game didn't sell well, it would still hurt the studio, and sometimes I'm sure
Oh
they went
fuck
out of
yeah,
business. But
yeah.
it wasn't quite as detrimental with the outrageous budgets like they got
No.
now, and like having to get
E.T.
sponsors for their development team, like
E.T. had a
everybody
bad-
wear a
E.T. had a
Doritos
bad
shirt
re-
because we need some money.
ET had a bad response for the whole
Yeah.
Atari and the whole industry as a whole there. So, I wonder how much that bitch cost to develop.
Was most
That
of the
piece shit.
marketing not mouth to mouth either? Instead of the big marketing budgets we have right now?
I mean, well, everything's gotten bigger and better since time has gone on. But I still remember seeing like Atari commercials for Pac-Man and Pac-Man the game.
Yeah, you'd see commercials
like
on
that,
TV,
yeah.
and then of course you had the video game magazine ads.
Yep.
Oh,
about
yeah.
about 10 fucking video game magazines, and there was
Oh.
an ad in each of them.
I didn't hear about games as quickly, but as soon as my I bought one or my subscription came in the mail, like I was reading about all the upcoming games every month. You know.
Yeah,
What I'm saying?
You know what I love the most about those magazines? Because I had them too in Belgium. I love them. Is the CDs that came with it, with like the games you could play, like 5 or 6
like,
games,
like
the demos.
like here it was called the official U.S. PlayStation magazine, and that motherfucker would come with a demo disc every fucking.
Well,
every
hell,
month, and it had a bunch of.
I'm talking back in the day before that was even
But
a thing.
that
Like
before
EGM,
that, like the EGMs and your fucking Game Pros,
Game
Jimmy
Pros.
Powers, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You'd
don't
wait
know
for
that shit.
fucker, You'd wait for that fucker to come in the fucking mail, dude. Fucking get that, and you'd read that thing. Front
Dude.
to back, front to back,
And
front to
you
back,
know,
like
some of those
3 times.
EGMs
I
were
would
like
analyze the-
200 pages, man.
Right,
Yeah.
I loved them when it was Christmas time, and yeah,
Yes.
they'd be real thick, you know, yeah. That was awesome.
Sometimes-
I would analyze the fucking advertisements and shit in it.
Hey,
just like,
sometimes
oh,
like
man.
I would go with my dad to the grocery shop on Saturday and go to the magazine aisle and just read them, like and get codes out of them. Like for remember, because games used to have codes you could
Yeah.
put in. Yeah, I would read them and like if I couldn't afford to buy it, I would read it and get what I needed out of the magazine. And
Oh, there
like,
was
look
so
for codes
many,
and shit.
and there was so many. Like, yeah, they used to have the book emporium out there. They called it. It was like one of those Hallmark stores, but it had a bunch of books and shit. But it had a ton of video game, like every single video game magazine that was published out there, dude. And it's like, I just loved going out there and fucking.
You know what's
checking
weird?
that shit out, you know?
Like,
yeah,
I know I'm a little older than you guys, but not by much. But when I was growing up, like video games were not something my dad even thought of doing. So I never had a father that kind of showed me the ropes with video games. I had to basically teach myself on all that stuff.
I thought you were gonna say when you were young, your mom and dad had a horse and buggy. Jesus. Yeah.
and they had just invented the wheel for that.
yeah.
And it's, you're not wrong. I mean, my parents were my parents are right now. They're in their 80s, right?
Little house on the prairie time
So-
shit. Yeah, yeah.
Axel says, "Graphic God is a boomer." Boomer.
Is that what I am? No, I'm a Gen Z, aren't I? Or Gen
No, you're Gen X.
Gen X. That's it.
He says,
You're
"Boomer."
Generation X
He
like
says,
me.
You're a
"Boomer,
boomer."
Boomer, I need some artwork, please." So, get on.
I know.
Hey, Buffet, what's up, dude? What's up?
Okay, what's up,
You're
brother?
gonna have to wait a little bit because I'm trying to finish a project for someone who's already paid me. Therefore, he's got priority.
Man,
So that means pay first and wait.
You pay, that's the way it works. If you pay me,
Pay first, beg
you
later.
get on the list.
I always forget to ask, but I'm just gonna do it real quick just so I don't forget that. Man, we need like what is it? Your main that you sell on is Redbubble now, right? Is that what?
I sell on Redbubble, Teespring, and Fourth Wall.
Teespring, that's
and
it,
Fourth
Teespring.
Wall.
Teespring, yeah. Yeah. Need like one for Retro Renegades and Iconic Video Games Podcast that has that and like says like can I get one that has like the time or whatever on YouTube, like watch on YouTube and shit, like
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? I love wearing my I'd love to have an Iconic shirt too, you know what I'm saying? But like
Jay,
I
what
love
you need
wearing
to
my
do,
retro shirt. I always wear my Retro Renegade shirt to Terre Haute shit, you know, like
You gotta think like 2024. Make a retro renegade shirt like Doggy's asking, and have the time, and then have a barcode that people can scan with their phone that takes
Right.
them directly to the retro.
You know, I did that
Right,
for
yeah.
clowns. I did that for clowns already.
There you
yeah.
go.
But yeah,
Put the
dude,
barcode on the T-shirt. So
Totally,
Doggy
if you
talks
had
about
that-
it. They can just scan it, and it takes right to the YouTube channel.
because yeah, I had my Retro Renegade shirt on when I went to Great Wolf Lodge, and somebody was asking me, he's like, "Was that a music channel?" I was like, "Oh no, video games." I was like,
Wouldn't
like,
that have been
video
cool if
games,
it had a scannable thing with their
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and if I had the time, and like I said, I wear that shirt like a lot. Yeah, and if it just said, "Hey, watch on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern time,
Scan
every
here.
Tuesday," you know, yeah, scan
Scan.
here or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
And put it
Yeah,
right
that
where your
down-
tits
down-
are.
down-
And then when
yeah,
people try
yeah,
to
put it
scan
down,
your tits,
please.
go,
Or
my
down-
eyes are
down
up
at the-
here.
Down at the bottom of the shirt, but it's taken down by the old, you know, and they can scan that, scan or suck it,
That's
find
hilarious.
out. But yeah, no, I would love
Make
to
some,
have
make,
I'd love
make
that,
some
yeah.
women's underwear with this
I buy those.
barcode right in the crotch area, so you get your phone out. They look at you like crazy.
I take it there's not an Iconic Video Games podcast. There should be one.
Shirt? Well, the thing is that we just changed the logo. Oh, not Iconic Video Games. For Good Morning Xbox, we just changed
I
the
think it
logo.
should be, yeah, you should have one of those too, yeah.
But there is shirts. I'm pretty sure there are shirts.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. Yeah.
Ask
Yeah.
ask Axel. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I created him shirts for all that.
Oh, okay. Alright.
He would know.
My bad.
He would
My bad.
remember. I'm old. I don't remember shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was thinking that now. I was like, I'll ask him after the show. I was like, no, I'll just fucking ask him now. It's not hurting nothing. So.
Speaking
yeah,
of
I
asking,
did have him to have him with, you know, the time on him.
yeah. Speaking of asking, the reason why Tharkus isn't talking very much is because he's got laryngitis. So, so you guys got to make him laugh.
does that
Really,
mean?
you got to make him laugh so that it hurts his throat.
No, don't do that. That's not nice.
What
Oh,
do you mean?
man!
What is laryngitis?
It
Man,
means you
I'm
lose your
like it
voice.
hurt.
Man, that
Oh,
sounds
damn.
fucking rough, bro. Like,
Does
Sounds
that
like
mean he
it
would
hurts.
lose his voice forever, or how? What?
Well, his
Yeah.
wife doesn't
Yeah.
mind, but I'm sure he minds.
Oh my God!
man.
That
Dude.
was
Okay,
bad.
that's enough of Donkey Kong. We're gonna move on to something else. But this is a fun game. I like this Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, I really wish I had played it as well, but now I can't, of course.
How do I quit? I'm trying to figure out how to quit.
Just
I'm trying to figure out how
Alt
to quit
F4.
you.
Alt
How do
F4.
I quit you?
Alt F4.
That always works.
Oh yeah, it did work. It shrunk it down. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll do one more. Since we've almost been an hour on the Wii. Let's play.
GoldenEye?
No, I've done GoldenEye on other consoles.
Yeah, and that's
Game-
gonna be.
Oh, this one here.
the
This
original
is
version.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom. So this
Oh,
is Battle of
yeah.
the Planets versus Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Oh,
bring it
you're
on.
good
Yeah,
at that
let's go.
stuff. Yeah, let's do it.
And
Game
I-
Buffet says, I have the stream up, but I won't be typing. And then he goes on to type, after he says he won't be typing, going to play Xbox and watch the election on a third screen. I have Retro Renegades. Thanks for playing the almighty Wii, one of the greatest consoles ever.
I'm watching the election as well, even though it doesn't bother me at all who wins. I mean, doesn't.
I mean,
do
it
me
doesn't.
anything.
It doesn't directly affect Canadians, but indirectly it does because I
It
think
does.
what happens with the economy in the United States affects
Trickles,
us up here.
it trickles
Yeah, it
up.
trickles up.
Well, I think Belgium is maybe one of the outliers that doesn't get affected.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, maybe indirectly somehow your air costs more. I don't know.
The air
But of
costs
course,
more.
I still have one more. I have, of course, my preference, but yeah, I do want to see who wins. So I'm looking at the moment. So
I can't have an
Nothing.
opinion because I'm Canadian.
Right,
I
I was going to
don't-
say, Flemish, I mean, like, is it a big deal there? Like, which one
Up here.
this thing?
no,
Oh, you're just kind of interested in your own right then. Just kinda
Flemish
weird.
is interesting because he knows lots of Americans.
Right, okay. Yeah, just for your own.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the thing. Like, I want my friends to be happy, but I know that not all of my friends have the same views. Therefore, which ones do I really want to be happy? I want them all to be happy, and that's not going to happen.
By,
Well, I know-
by the way, Belgium and all those countries are affected because the economy nowadays is a global economy. So,
Of course.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
so even if
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're directly affected, you are. You know. Yeah.
So if you don't feel Kamala's hand in your pocket, it really is. So.
Oh, stop it.
I would like to have Kamala's hand in my pocket.
And if you think the self-proclaimed billionaire gives a shit about you, you know that's a whole nother.
He does. He told me so.
No,
Yeah,
he-
yeah, he came by here. Yeah, he came by here.
He
It's a
texted me
fun
that
thing.
this morning. He's like,
Yeah.
"Good morning. I
He
care
gave
about
me, he
you."
gave me like
It's
a
a fun
at
thing, they
McDonald's
always-
fries and said yes.
He said,
Do you
"You're
know
a
what's
good
the-
boy. I touched you on the pussy." I said, "All right."
do you know what's the fun thing about the elections? Every single time, it's always bullshit. They're like the bullshit people.
It's all bullshit. They're all bullshit. All them motherfuckers are a bunch of fucking bullshit. Yes, there you go. Like I said, the sign I was talking about earlier, fuck them both. America, you can be better.
I want the one I voted for to win, but he's dead, so I don't think so. Ross Perot, remember him?
Ross Perot,
Oh, God,
the
yes.
real man, my man. I remember back in high school It was 8th grade. It was 8th grade. We did like a mock election and shit, and different parts of different classes got the different people. So we ended up with Ross Perot and shit, dude. Fucking, we ended up talking everybody into voting for him and shit, So we actually won that shit. Ross Perot, hell yeah, he was the man. He was the man.
And I think if he would have run, like, if he would have been able to run in like 2020 or whatever, he might have done a lot better. Given
Right?
the
Yeah.
situation we're in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah,
he's got a condition called being dead.
Or even in 2016, E2, so.
Right.
Or
it's just a
this
matter
year.
of timing
Or
is
this
everything.
year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's dead, so you
Right.
have-
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he died in 2019. I asked my buddy D, he's my age. I said, "You remember Ross Perot?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "I do, because I remember my mom and
I
dad
remember
talking
that.
about it." And then,
I
like,
remember
I remember
that.
seeing him.
Oh yeah, I remember that skit on fucking Saturday Night Live where fucking Dana Carvey was playing him. And he was sitting in that big ass. Everything was real big compared to him. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, he's like, "Now I know that you know that I know that you know." And he had the fucking those weird ass ears. He had a huge telephone sitting beside.
You know
him.
that Dana
Yeah.
Carvey's now doing he's doing Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good at doing. He's pretty good at doing most of the presidents. He's fucking.
But you know what's weird? I never realized how biased Saturday Night Live was. Like, I always thought they were just like, they did political skits. But the more you watch them, the more you realize how Democrat they are. And I never, like I said, it wasn't until this year that I even understood what right and left meant. But now that I know a little bit more about it, and I watch Saturday Night Live like religiously since the 80s, I realize now how biased they are with everything they do. It's ridiculous.
Man, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live like hardly at all since like
I haven't
the
watched Saturday Night
90s.
Live
The
since the
90s
Attitude
and
Era.
shit. Yeah, the 90s and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it when I had wrestlers on. I'd watch it then, but I watched it a ton like when I was in grade school, like in high school and stuff. Like
Some of my favorite
watch
Saturday Night
Gladiators.
Live
Gladiators
was,
would be on after that shit. You know that.
Oh,
some of my
Chris is
favorite
in the
Saturday Night
chat.
Live.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, buddy?
Is it
Some of
not
my favorite-
sad?
Some of my favorite Saturday Night Live is the late 70s, early 80s when it was like Jim Belushi, John Belushi.
Oh, those were yeah.
Like what's
I
his
didn't
name?
watch them live. I wasn't watching them live.
Fuck. I mean, I used to watch them. My parents used to watch them. God, what? Fuck. I can't think of Steve Martin.
No, I love Steve Martin, and of course
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah, man.
Fuck, dude, that's some of the best.
Yeah,
Saturday Night Live.
those were fucking gold.
After like the era where Chris Farley and Dana Carvey, after that era, that's when I quit watching.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That was such a cool era there
What's
too.
his
you know,
name
like-
that played Austin Powers?
Oh, Mike Myers.
Mike Myers?
Myers,
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
dude. That's some of the best Saturday Night Live still. He lost me
Man.
after that, Lou.
Man, they had such good.
That's what I said, the
Adam
Attitude Era
Adam
was about the
Sandler
same
was on there.
time.
Chris Farley,
Yep.
fucking.
Yep.
I mean, who would ever forget when the night that fucking Chris Farley dirty dance with fucking.
That's why I said it's about the same time the Attitude Era was going around, and it kind of went away.
See
That's
that
why-
it was a little bit before that. That was like still in the era when American Gladiators was on after it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you know what I mean.
love
That was
it.
around the same
Right. It was
time.
It was in the
They
mid
both went away.
'90s,
Yeah.
mid '90s, and then you went into Attitude Era, NWO kind of shit, and then you went
That's
into the
why I
early
s-
2000s, and then everything pussified.
That's why I said that's about the time I quit watching wrestling. About the time I quit watching Saturday Night Live. Because I've watched it over the years since then, and it's nowhere as good, dude.
Oh, there's no way it could be as good as
Nowhere
back
good,
then.
no.
There's no way it could be as good as back then. Not against him, but just you're top of that shit, man. That shit was so good.
Saturday Night Live was top tier back then. Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to beat the 90s from Saturday Night Live.
Fuck
Like,
yeah, Chris
people would say
Farley,
the 70s were great, and
even-
the early 80s
Oh,
were great,
yeah,
but
they were. They
Even
were.
Kevin Nealon doing the news,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Dennis
Kevin Nealon.
or Dennis Miller before him, you know, like
Yeah.
fucking.
What they had? What's his name? He had news radio. His wife killed him. What's his name? You remember him? His
Phil
crazy
Hartman.
wife.
Phil
Phil
Hartman.
Hartman.
oh,
Fuck
Phil
yeah,
Hartman,
dude.
that's right.
Rob-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rob
dude.
Schneider.
His wife
Rob
killed him.
Schneider. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he died from like natural causes.
No,
No,
his
his wife
wife, his
killed
wife
him.
shot him while he was in bed.
Yeah,
Holy
wife killed him.
crap.
He was
With-
crazy.
with their 2 kids at home. So yeah.
Yeah.
not a cool thing.
Jesus.
The Robmeister makes.
I remember. He had even said his wife was gonna kill him. He says, like, I remember him interview or something. It's like my wife's gonna end up killing me because she's like, sometimes she was crazy. She would get off her meds, dude. Yeah. Yep, she did. That's why he quit doing news radio. He was dead.
Well, no. Well, he was dead. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. He couldn't do it.
Well,
no more.
and Andy Dick was tied up in all that. Andy Dick. Was
Oh, Andy Dick, he
fired.
didn't he? Yeah, he was into some
It was.
controversy.
Well, because he went up to the what's his name, who ended up going to news radio, and thought he was being funny.
Charlie
Going,
Sheen?
You're next. No, not Charlie.
Was it Charlie Sheen? I can't remember who killed him.
No, it
Who
was
there.
another comedian, but he would basically went up to him in the restaurant and you're next, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he
I remember
lost
that.
his fucking mind.
But that's where
I remember that guy being replaced. I don't remember who he was though.
that's where Joe Rogan got to start, right? News radio.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was Dave Foley. Wanted him to replace.
Oh, Dave Foley, right?
No,
yes,
Dave Foley
'cause
was
Dave
in from
Foley,
the beginning. Dave Foley was in
Okay,
from the
who-
beginning.
You guys don't know Dave Foley. He used to be Kids in the Hall
Yeah, I know who he is.
because
yeah,
that's a Canadian
to-
group.
I'm trying to remember who replaced Phil Hartman, but I can't remember now.
I can't think of his name. He was another SNL alum, but I can't think.
Oh, okay.
Man, I remember when Joe Rogan used to do fucking. I know exactly what you're talking about. Did that Fear Factor show? Remember that show? That show was fucking cool.
They brought it back now. It's current now. So
Oh,
What-
yeah.
what show?
Is it
Fear
good?
Factor?
Is it still awesome? Like
I haven't watched it since I haven't watched the new one, but yeah.
Yeah, that shit was good back in the day. That shit was fucking crazy ass shit. That was good watching TV back then.
John Lovitz. That's
Yeah.
John
right.
Lovitz. Oh, my favorite skit with John Lovitz was when he played the liar. He'd go, yeah, and he would do some kind of act where someone would say something to him. And he would go, yeah, I was a
yeah.
millionaire
So
one
he-
time.
Yeah, but I don't think
wasn't
so.
He, wasn't he part of the '90s cast as well? That's what I mean.
Yes, he was.
Jesus
Yeah.
fuck. God, some of the best skits, dude. Some of the
Best kids, yeah, the church lady.
Church
fucking-
lady.
Church lady,
Fucking
Jesus, yeah.
Bill
Fucking-
and Ted. No, not Bill and Ted.
What Wayne's World?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, fucking. That shit was fucking awesome. Yeah, the new, like I said, the weekend update. You know, that was always fun. It's Pat. That's Pat. I remember that shit.
Whoever used to, what's his name? Used to do Stuart Smalley. I'm good
Stuart
enough.
Small, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
he
great
became a
enough.
politician, didn't he?
It
Yeah.
I
got,
don't remember it.
it got
Yeah, he-
started. People like
God
me.
darn it, people love me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
he
the
ended up.
fucking-
What did he end up
Yeah,
doing?
he ended up leaving Washington due to some some drama that if it would have happened nowadays, it would have been like waved off. Like no big deal.
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
guy that did the fucking drawings in the bathtub.
Oh yeah.
I
My name
fought.
is Simon, and I
Yeah.
like to do
That was
drawings.
that was the guy. That's what's his name.
That's Mike Myers as well.
Mike
Yeah.
Myers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Al
gee.
Franken.
Al
Adam
Franken, there you
Sandler.
go.
Adam Sandler had some fucking funniest ass shit on there, dude. Like, he'd come on there and do the fucking the songs he did on there and shit, dude. I
Yeah.
fucking he did Cajun Man on fucking on.
He was basically like the
update,
Andy
fucking-
Samberg of the '90s.
This shit was fucking hilarious, dude. That fucking turkey song on there,
Oh yeah.
or the fucking Hanukkah song and shit.
I think
Yeah,
I
you-
proved my point. The '90s, some of the best SNL.
Yeah, no,
It
like I
was.
said, I would
When I was in
cherish
college, I
watching
loved it.
that, because I would watch that, and then after that was American Gladiators, and if I was still up and going, was WWF Superstars of Wrestling, dude. It was fucking, I loved it, dude. I'd just make a whole night of it, you know, just fucking play video games up until the fucking news being over. Time for fucking SNL.
And
American
then like,
Gladiators and shit, you know.
like
ah.
right there with it is the late '70s, mid late '70s, early '80s SNL.
Those were awesome too. I don't remember those as much, you know. It's like you know, like those
I've watched a ton of them. That's
those
why.
had like it just as great, if not better.
Oh, they were just as good, yeah.
Cause like wasn't Chevy Chase on that too?
Chevy
Like,
Chase, fuck yeah, man.
like
I'm telling you, yeah.
fucking like it had so many great people on it, you know. So
You had both John and what's his brother? John Belushi, the Belushi brothers, both
Oh,
of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie Murphy. That's what I'm saying, man. You have-
Jim, like Jim, right? Jim.
Yeah, Jim and John Belushi.
Yeah, they had a fucking load of stars until the 2000s. And like I said, I didn't watch it a ton, so who knows? Maybe it still is great. You know, I guess I shouldn't judge, but I just in my opinion, it can't be as great as those times. There's no way you can recapture that. But you know,
Yeah.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It might still be
True.
awesome. Who knows? So, but those were great years though. Watching that shit back then, that was so fun.
Classic TV, man. Sorry.
Yeah. I loved when fucking Chris Farley fucking did the fucking in a van down by the river. You know, fucking.
And a van
He's
down
like,
by the river, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's like,
He was playing some kind of
"You'll be-"
motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, motivational
Yeah.
speaking. He's talking. If you know, get your life together, you'll be.
He's like
You'll be
screaming at these
dead.
people, yeah. In
You'll
our
be
living room.
smoking crack, and you'll be doing this and that. You know, just says that. And he's like, little girl, what do you want to do when you grow up? And she's like, well, hell, I want to live in a van down by the river.
Classic, man.
And he would always fall on shit like the
You
fucking,
break the coffee table
yeah,
or
the
something.
fucking coffee table to break like toothpicks and shit. Oh man.
Okay, we're done with Wii. We're moving on to the Wii U.
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. All right, I had to do it. Somebody had to do it.
Wii U, Wii U.
Woo, woo, woo.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
see. So we got let's do some Mario
Oh!
Kart.
How'd I forget Dan Aykroyd? God
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
oh yeah. Aykroyd fucking.
was part of that too. Jane
Well, that was
Curtin?
that was the first 5 years. There, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
forget
he's
that,
yeah, talking about the older. That's what I'm
Gilda
saying. Like,
Radner, Bill Murray. Come
Yeah.
on.
Murray, I was
Bill
gonna
Murray.
say Murray earlier. Yeah, no, I didn't say Yep, Murray, fucking.
That's the time period I'm talking about. When all these guys were on there. Chevy Chase.
Chevy
my
Chase,
God.
Yeah, trust me, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase were never on there together. They would have killed each other.
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
like each
yeah,
other
yeah.
very much, did they?
No.
No.
Did you guys know that Eddie Murphy was supposed to be the fourth Ghostbuster as well?
Yeah, I
Huh.
heard that. I heard
Yeah.
that.
I'd never heard that. Huh?
And I
What
think it
happened
was
with
conflicting with Beverly Hills Cop, so he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they got God, what
Er-
was it? I can't-
Ernie Hudson, which I
Ernie
think
Hudson,
Yeah.
yeah.
which I think worked out better.
Oh, it worked
I
great.
liked Ernie. I liked Ernie.
Oh,
I
come
think
on,
it
that'd
was a
been cool
perfect
if Eddie Murphy was like, party all the time, party all.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. But Ernie was a good one.
He was perfect
Yeah.
for the role.
Yeah, he was awesome.
It
So-
ended up being a good decision. I think he fit perfect though.
Yeah. I love those first two Ghostbusters movies, man. They were just.
I'm gonna have
Look
to
at
play
that.
this. slow.
He's playing. Hey, isn't this the Switch version of Mario Kart?
No,
Just older.
Well, yeah, just the older version, basically.
Right.
And you know what? And I don't
Nintendo.
play a lot of this. The only time I play this game is when Tharkus brings it over. So I don't have a lot of experience with this game at all.
Way to go, Nintendo. That's how you milk your customers.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got some Sony in them. That's what I
That's what I was going to say.
YouTube, but-
So, someone's taken
Oh,
something, some page from someone's playbook.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say you can look on YouTube and find like a lot of the old episodes of like SNL and shit.
Oh, my
yeah, you
God.
can find them there. They used to replay them on like A&E or some shit. Like back in the day, like that's how I saw them. Like,
Yeah.
'cause they play like those, and they play like old reruns of fucking like Letterman when he was on NBC and shit. And fucking yeah, I love comedy shit like that, man. I just watch that shit. I used to watch like. I mean, I couldn't sleep a lot of times in the summer and shit. And, like A&E, it'd be A&E evening at the Improv. Like it wasn't the nastiest like stand-up comedy, but it was still funny, you know. Fucking, or the stuff they always had on HBO. I remember when Carlin was on there, dude. Man, fuck that shit was so funny, dude. Like, or even Gallagher. Remember Gallagher, the guy that smashed the
Oh,
fucking
the
Oh
watermelons.
yeah.
yeah with the
the
fucking
magician.
sledge-o-matic.
Yes.
Yeah, sledge-o-matic, and he was fucking cool. No, he's
Speaking of that, speaking of magicians, what they got it playing right now. They've been playing since like Sunday. The fucking remember those things they would show on TV, breaking the magician's code.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. The guy in the mask.
Yeah, they're on YouTube right now. They've been playing since Sunday. I didn't realize they had like multiple seasons on that show.
Oh, I didn't know either.
2002, 2008. Fuck yeah, different magicians every time. I've been hooked on it, dude. I finally seen all of 90. The original one, the guy with the mask that you probably remember.
Yeah, I remember that guy with the mask.
In '97, I never saw all those. I've actually seen them all now. Like I watched all of those Sunday, laying in like sitting here after I got done working with Crystal. Like I sat here and watched them. I watched them Sunday morning. Do that, dude. Fucking Magic's so full of shit. But yeah, like I didn't realize until.
But you know what? Even though I know it's fake, I love watching magicians, especially on America's Got Talent. I love watching that shit.
Oh, I mean they can fool you. I mean, good, but god damn, they're so.
Yeah, a lot of time it's how they entertain you doing it. You know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah. And a lot of times it's got a lot to do with their like personality and charisma
Right.
and how they move their hands and how they're moving on stage. Like they
It's all about misdirection and sleight of hand.
Yeah.
The ones I really like are the ones that you think they're going one way and then they do something totally different.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, wow, that's cool. You know.
You know, if you really want to watch a good show, and you've probably watched it, is Penn and Teller Fool Me? So Penn and
Yeah.
Teller are like
I've
one of the
seen
best magicians, and they get a group of magicians to come in and try to fool them. And if you fool them, you I don't know if you go to the next level or you get a prize.
You get a prize.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
you
get,
get a trophy.
you get there. You get a trophy that
Like
you,
a reward, an award or something.
Yeah.
and they've actually had a couple of guys come back and fool them twice, and that's a big thing for them.
If
You know,
you
that,
full Penn and Teller,
I do not remember completely, but is it not so that after the show ends that they still have to tell the trick?
well, no, even before
No, they
go
don't.
on,
They never reveal it unless.
Well, hang on. Hang on. Let me explain what happened.
Okay.
When they go to do the show, they do show the producers how they do the trick. So the
Yeah.
producers know. Penn and Teller do not. But
So afterwards, they still do not know. After
well,
it
I don't.
ends
They
with
they
the thing.
might. They may or may not. I don't know.
They
I
will
mean,
they will
you know,
say code words
right.
during the show to let the magician know they know what the magician
Yeah,
did.
they'll describe it in a certain way. And,
Yeah.
Oh, and then they go, I can tell by what you're saying that you know what I did. Okay.
Yeah, I think that most people know those, like starting to understand those code words, though they are.
But even then, the idea is just to fool Penn and Teller, not necessarily to fool us. And the fact that they can fool Penn and Teller, who've been doing it for 40, 50 years, you know. it's
Yeah, a long time.
Okay, I gotta get
Yeah, I
another
just
beer.
like-
I'll be
I
right
just-
back.
Penn and Teller, I used to watch
I
that
just
shit
clicked
before.
on it right now, and the other magician that did it in 2002 is on it right now. Totally different guy, totally different mask.
Do you
And
know who I
is-
love the
is
most on that
Penn-
show? There's one guy who comes on that show like often. I think he's on the show 4 times already. Piff the Magic Dragon. If you ever
Oh,
see
Piff,
the
yeah.
clips,
Yeah.
he's so good.
Is Penn and Teller still? They still do that shit?
Yeah, they have a show. They have a show in Vegas. They have.
Damn, no shit, man. Those guys, I remember watching them in the '90s too. And they had a show called
put-
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Penn and
put
Teller
the- I put
Bullshit.
the link-
Oh my god, that shit was fucking great.
I put the link to this YouTube thing in the Retro Renegades chat if you want to check it out.
What's that?
Definitely
What,
too.
Penn and Teller?
No, the Breaking the Magician's Code stuff where they do the trick and then they show you how to do the trick.
Right.
That's all it is.
Oh, okay. I wasn't gonna try. I didn't hear that part, but I'll check out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even Penn and Teller have done shows where they do that. They do the trick and then they show you
Yeah.
exactly how they did it.
Like this
Oh.
other
Oh yeah,
magician
okay.
that-
Yeah,
this
yeah.
other
Penn and
magician
Teller's
when
cool. I like those
When
guys.
Fox brought this back in 2002, which I don't remember, I just remember the original one. That's the guy you
Mhm.
probably remember, the original mask or whatever. He just did, this magician just did where he's sitting at a table with 3 of his helpers, his female hotties or whatever, and then it's like the spirits are levitating and whatever. And they show like, holy shit, that's cool as shit. Then they show you how he did it. He's got metal rods in his arm sleeves, and when he does his little, he like shakes his jacket out or whatever before he sits down, it actually shakes the rods out. And then the table's made out of this light ass wood, and it has holes in the slide he's gonna sit at drilled in it, and so those rods go in the table. So, and he's got his hands on top because the rods are underneath his hands. So all he's got to do is like move, pick his arms up, and the table
Yep.
starts flying. I'm like, what the fuck, man? God. Like a lot of this shit's
like
so
shit like that,
fucking
yeah.
easy, man. Like, have you seen the magician where he'll be on the street and he'll make the, like, remember back in the day, cell phones used to be small. Like he'd make the cell phone all of a sudden go into the water bottle. It's like most time they said a lot of times it's always a slit in the bottle. Like, but he moves
Yeah.
so fast, he'd say it's like they throw it, forcing the phone into the bottle. I'm like, ain't that some fucking shit? Like I saw him too. Is like where you like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where the trick where he pushes a cigarette in like through a $50 or whatever dollar piece. There's actually a spring-loaded thing on the other side of the fucking coin. I'm like, how would nobody see that? Like,
Because
you know what I'm saying?
because it's quick, and
Yeah,
you
it
never
had
learn
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, dude.
But I like magicians. Actually, Tharkus was telling me there was magicians coming to a local place here, and I'd like to actually go. So you know what,
very
Tharkus, you
good.
tell the wives. That's what we want to do.
And then while you guys are watching the show, you could send them to the mall and you can watch all your money disappear.
Yeah.
She spends all my money anyways.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
okay, yeah. You don't need to go to magician.
It's like I'm used to that.
Have that, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
now,
like the last magician, this other one, you seen the guy sitting the block of ice for a week? He's got a double that comes in there, dressed just like him, and there's a place under, at least what this.
oh, you're
how
talking
that
about
is-
the guy with the dark black hair, not Chris Angel, the other guy.
David
Well, no,
Blaine.
David Blaine.
Or if you've ever seen that trick where they stay in it for a week, they're not actually in there for a week. This one guy that's showing it, he just showing it now. He has a double come in there while they're spraying the ice with more dry ice on the outside, so it's all foggy. And then he goes down underneath the ice where he's double just sitting now. There's like a bed, a TV, there's food. So and they take turns during those 7 days. Like,
Huh.
ain't that some fucking shit?
That's some bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh shit!
That's crazy, man. Yeah, it had me hooked, man. I remember seeing, like I said, had members like watching some of it, but I didn't ever watch all of it. So I sit there and watch it so I can know how a lot of these fucking tricks are done.
Yeah, it's cool when you see the tricks and you see how they're done. That's cool.
Well, like a lot of times, like their mechanisms they bring out there, their cabinets, like they saw the person in half or whatever. A lot of times there's room in that bitch where they can duck down or sit, like get behind the blades and shit that you don't never see. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A lot of times, hidden compartments. You know, that's a lot of times that's all it is.
I
Right.
definitely don't know how to play Tekken. Anyone know how to play Tekken?
Just button mash, button mash. Just press.
Now
a bunch
this
of-
was virtual.
press a bunch
This
of
was
buttons.
Virtual Fighter. Dead or Alive, I know how to play, but this man.
Yeah, Tekken just blows compared to Soul Calibur and
I agree.
Virtual Fighter. No, Tekken's just button mash. Just use your fucking, mash all the buttons.
There is a strategy, but you gotta learn the fucking. It's like any other fighting game. You
Yeah,
gotta
just
learn.
button
Is there
Button mash,
counters?
dude.
I don't know if there's counters or what.
No, you just button mash. This is the early one, right? This
This
like,
is Tekken Tag
This is
Wii U
Tag
edition.
tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, something
Tekken
like
Tag
Tekken-
has button mash. Just
Yeah.
button mash. That's how That's why
With-
Tekken. Like when I took my PS2, like when I just take to friends' houses, and when because I was always on the road, I just always took it at friends' house. We play it, drink, smoke, fucking. And yeah, Tekken was one of the favorites because you just butt mash your ways. They didn't like playing fucking Virtual Fighter 4 or whatever against me because I kicked
Well,
the
see,
ass.
I feel like that's how I feel about all of them. Virtual Fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur. I never liked really. I mean, they were good because at the time they
No,
were.
I
something
loved Soul
different,
Calibur.
But like, I didn't like.
Yeah, I
I didn't
love
never
Soul
get. I never
Calibur.
wanted
Good
to
for
learn
shit.
any of them and get good with any of them. They were all butt masters to me because of the fucking somebody could just move out the way by dodging left or right. That's why I'm not big. I've never been big on 3D fighting.
Virtual Fighter was definitely not button master just because I had just the 3 buttons. You know, you had your block and then punch and kick. So it was like.
Yeah,
There's
they
only
weren't
so many
quite as
combinations.
bad. Yeah,
But-
quite as bad.
But I see what you're saying. It was just different because they could
Yeah.
just sidestep your fucking
Sidestep
shit.
your shit. Yeah.
Especially Soul Calibur because they had that fucking 8-way movement. You could
Yep.
move all
Yep.
around.
And
Yeah,
I was like,
you were just
fuck
moving
this
fucking.
shit. Yeah. Yep.
To move like that and Virtua Fighter was harder to get yourself to move like I can't remember.
Tekken's
Like
definitely one of the harder ones though.
Yeah, it doesn't have any rhyme or reason to it.
no, it's just you just butt mash that shit. You just gotta find a guy that's good with the butt mash and you.
That's why it's one of the most popular like. among
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
masses.
saying. It's the easiest. It's the easiest of the 3D fighters to play because you just butt
Oh,
mash
fuck
your way
yeah.
through it.
You can be good, pretty decent with it by button mashing.
Yeah. Soul Calibur, you need some fucking skills and
You
Virtua
need more
Fighter.
skills.
Virtua
Virtua
Fighter,
Fighter.
if you don't know what you're doing in Virtua Fighter, get somebody that knows what they're doing, you're getting your ass kicked.
You know who you don't want to play in a fighter? Tharkus is really good at Street Fighter. Like the old school. He always kicks my ass.
Well, yeah, too. The old school, like, I could hit you twice with a dragon punch from fucking Ryu back in the day, and you'd be dead. Especially if I caught you jumping in.
You
The
mean like some?
fucking damage?
You mean like Street Fighter 2? Or the
Yeah.
original?
The Street Fighter 2, the original. You couldn't play the Street Fighter because the controls sucked.
Yeah, that
Street
game was
Fighter-
fucking. Yeah.
Street
that game
Fighter
was
2, if you caught somebody jumping in on you with a dragon punch, dude, half their life bar would go away instantly. You'd think, go, "Woo." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. You can be really good at that game. You can kill your opponent in like 2 hits if you know what to hit them with, and then like, hey, catch them in the right time. I played the shit out of that game. Super Nintendo, fuck. Back in the day, my buddy could always be at his house, and he had a Super Nintendo, so we'd always play that version. But dude, so good.
Oh yeah, I had every version of. I had every console version of fucking Street Fighter
Yeah,
that
me
I could
too.
that I could own. Fucking,
I had it on the Sega Genesis. He didn't like the Sega
I don't-
Genesis.
The
Well,
only
the
thing
Genesis
that
one-
okay, the Sega Genesis one was good except for the sound. Everything else was great
Yeah.
about that game.
The Sega
Yeah,
Genesis
everybody
one
liked
played so much better, dude. Like it and it had the better pad, the fighting pad,
Yeah.
the 6-button pad.
He was a Nintendo guy, of course.
Yeah, the sound sucked, but
Yeah.
other than that,
Hey.
it was just fucking.
He's like,
Man,
it
it
sounds
was so
terrible. I can't play it. I'm like, well, we'll play your version then when we go to your house. When he
And it
come
was
over to mine, I was
faster.
like,
It was faster too.
Yeah.
Like you could jack the speed up on that one faster.
What's your opinion on that, Tharkus? Which one's your favorite? He's not even listening.
I'm a
Yeah, he already gave up on us.
See, I
No,
even
I'm
had.
here.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
What's
Street
your
Fighter?
favorite Street Fighter?
I like Street Fighter 2, the original one.
The OG.
Yeah, like on
The
the
OG.
like in the arcade or like Super
The
Nintendo?
arcade one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the arcade.
Yeah, the OG regular Street Fighter 2 with the 8 characters is one of my favorite too.
I remember how big a deal that was when it came to Super Nintendo too. It's like,
Oh,
damn.
fucking huge, man.
Yeah. I think it was even like the first 16 meg card or whatever at the time or some shit.
It was one
like-
of them. Yeah, it was one of them.
Yeah, one of the first. Yeah, probably one of the
Yeah.
first. But, it was it was a pretty big deal. And then they had 24 meg cart for Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighter or Turbo, whatever the hell
Yeah,
they called it on that
Yeah,
one.
they could have took out
Street
some
Fighter
of those
2.
megs and left the hyper out because I hated that shit. People want to jack speed up all the way up to 8 and shit. Play like you're on
Yeah.
crack. I hated that shit, dude. Like,
And then it
get
was
out of here.
32, and then it was 32 megs for fucking Super Street Fighter 2. Yeah, that was.
I had the pleasure of playing that the first time at home on the 3DO.
Right, the one on the 3DO was awesome, except for it was so cool. The sprites were the perfect size. Like it was arcade
was great.
perfect looking-ish, except for it didn't have the backgrounds didn't scroll.
Didn't scroll. Yeah.
The backgrounds didn't scroll, so it was like you were standing in front of a fucking painting. It was.
That's great.
I was like, man, fuck, but it didn't matter. It still played. Oh yeah, and the button did the pad didn't have 6 buttons either.
It didn't. It had 5.
Yeah, but I didn't really care because I didn't use.
I didn't care.
Middle kick either. I didn't care.
I never used the middle kick either. I was using
Yeah,
like light and
but-
heavy.
Yeah, light
So
and
it
heavy
didn't
on the
bother me.
kicks, and I just needed the 3 punches. Yeah.
Yep. 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 That
It was
awesome,
yeah,
bro.
and I had Samurai Showdown on there too because it was a good port of Samurai Showdown.
I like Samurai Showdown. I had that for the Sega Genesis.
That's all. I like that game. It's not one of my. I like the game, but it's hard as balls, man.
It is hard.
Shooter's full of
But it was one of the
Oh, it
first
was
fighting
hard.
games with
Yeah.
weapons, if you think about it.
Yeah, it was one of the first weapon-based games. Yeah, and it was cool, like
Arcade was
on
hard, the
on the
home ports were
arcade.
hard.
in the arcade and like in the 3DO version, like how it like if you got farther away, it scaled away, but if you got close, like
Yeah.
it scaled in, and
Yep.
your sprites got bigger and shit, and it was more up and close and personal and shit. You know, fucking yeah. That game was
Yeah,
huge when
that-
it hit the arcades, man. Oh, Samurai Showdown, man, okay, fucking awesome. We're gonna go play that, you know, like.
Definitely one of the better fighters that hasn't received a lot of love over the years. A lot of people just whatever.
Well, they
but
did. They
one of the
did
tougher ones, too.
a newer version about 4 or 5 years ago, didn't they?
What, Samurai
4 or 5
Showdown?
Yeah. I never played it. The remake.
Yeah, it was
Not
good
either.
too, dude. It was fucking
Really?
good. Yeah. I can't. I got all the achievements for it, so I traded off on eBay and shit. I wish I would have did that, but yeah. I just figured I'd never play it anymore. But yeah, it was a good.
2019, Jay.
2019. I knew it
just
wasn't
the
that
new
long
one that
ago.
came out. By the way.
You can get it for $14.99.
Yeah, you can still get it cheap,
Really?
and it's a fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun.
You know what?
fighter,
I might
dude.
pick
Like,
it
it's
up.
good.
I might just pick it up because I like.
Earthquake on that game is a fucking beast.
That's the Xbox version. The PS4 version is 20.
Okay.
Yeah, Earthquake on that game's a fucking beast. I can't remember. There's somebody else I'd use too, dude. It was so cool. But yeah, I got all the achievements, so I traded it off, and then they brought out like a fucking DLC like season or some shit. Like I don't think I had achievements, but I was like, fuck, man, I would like to have played that. You know, I shouldn't have got rid of it. You know, like it might even have been like a free update. Yeah.
I know Jay
Yeah, it
was
was-
cringing watching me play this game.
What is this?
What the? Is this Mario World?
Yeah,
I don't know what the Mario this is.
it's Super Mario
Mario
3D
Remake.
Oh
World.
yeah. So I saw this some
What
time
the
ago,
fuck
but
is
apparently
this?
they are making a new Samurai Showdown.
Like another one.
Yeah, they're making a new one.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Alright.
Like they've been making the Fatal Furies and the fucking all the other ones. Yeah, I don't King of
Yeah.
Fighters. Like I don't know why they wouldn't. Yeah, they should do that for sure.
You can pick up whatever. This is a Samurai Showdown Special Edition that includes the season pass plus DLC.
Yeah. That is-
for $20 or $18.99 for if you're a pro member. Right
But
now.
is that like a fighter or?
Yeah,
is
it's a
it?
fighter.
I never
Samurai
played
Showdown.
yeah, it's a
Never
fighting
Samurai
game.
Showdown?
that. Yep.
Something
But this
nice.
it's
Something
actually-
nice.
Samurai
act-
Showdown is the cover kind of got like a grayish color or something, right? Like
It's not your typical Samurai Showdown cover. It's got like
Right.
all the characters on the
well, I
front.
had that game.
and-
Like I said, it was fun. It was just a new age version of fucking. It was just a
It's-
new age version of.
It's Samurai Showdown, probably the 2019 version with all the shit they put in it.
Yeah.
Right at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they
It's still
could-
Samurai Showdown.
yeah, it
It's
was
something
fucking-
like
yeah.
Street Fighter then. is what
Yeah,
it is.
but
Yeah,
Wait,
it was one of the best 2D fighters back then. It's a 2D fighter. I
Yeah.
love 2D fighters. One of the best 2D
Samurai
fighters back then.
Showdown, that 2019 was the best Samurai Showdown they ever made.
Yeah, see, that's worth picking up.
Yeah, that was the
I
best
never- I
Samurai
never
Showdown
bought it.
they ever made. Yeah, it was.
I never
fuck-
even
But it
played
was,
it.
like
And
I
there was
said,
so much to
Flamish,
do in
it
it.
was fucking hard. The computer was full of shit in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so
Seemed like
much
a
to do
motherfucker.
in that game. Like I can't remember what there was you had to do, but I played it for hours and hours and hours. and hours
I'd
and
always
hours.
play with what's his name, the main guy, Haomaru, the main guy on the cover. I always play
Oh,
with him. Was that his name? Can't remember.
no, it starts with the H, like Hayachi.
That's what
or
Hayabusa.
Haomaru.
Yeah,
something?
Hibachi or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, it starts with H. Hihachi or something like it. Yeah.
Hatua.
Hakutua.
It's Haomaru. That's what I said. I guess that's how you pronounce it. That's the main
Haomaru?
guy. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
How, yeah. That's the one you always see on the cover. The white with the long, like the samurai sword.
I like Earthquake, dude. That dude's got some fucking reach, man. And if he fucking gets you, dude, he fucking puts the fucking hammer down on your bitch ass, man. He's bad.
And he's supposed to be a samurai. He's based on Miyamoto Musashi 1584 to 1645, classic model of the samurai.
So what
That's
you
who I'll
what
eat.
you're saying, Doggy, is that he'll teach you who's daddy.
All right.
Yes.
Yep.
No, if you've never played it, Flammers, it's a good fighting game. It just like, it didn't really like they didn't keep making 1,000 of those like Capcom did with Street Fighter and keep it relevant.
They
Like Killer
made
Instinct.
6 of them. They made 6 of them. Fucking
Yeah,
in the
they- yeah,
arcade
they-
era.
Yeah, they just didn't keep up with them, so they didn't stay in people's faces. Like Killer Instinct, they didn't make a ton of them. Like
They didn't
that's the main.
re-update
Yeah,
the same game. They
I-
just make a sequel and just it'd go for a while. Then they made
That's the
another
main reason why
sequel.
people
I
still
looked
play
on
Street
Steam, but
Fighter
it's too
now.
expensive.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat is because they've made one. They keep making them.
Well, they
That's why
keep
you-
relevant.
see,
Yeah, they keep going.
Like
Yeah,
when
keep them relevant.
when
Like Mortal
SNK would
Kombat,
come
yeah.
out like
Yeah.
with these fucking they come out with like all these games, right? Like these Samurai Showdowns, this or that. Like you would go to the arcade and they'd have those
Yep.
the MVS machines, right?
Yep.
The big reds or whatever they're called, the MVS machines, and they'd have 4 games in them, right? But they'd only have 4 games, so like you wouldn't just run into a fucking certain machine here, a certain machine, you just have to hope that your place that had your MVS had that game in it, you know what I'm saying at the time. So, but usually Samurai Showdown was one of them. They had a one of those MVSs at our Pizza Hut, which I think they had MVSs a lot of Pizza Huts, I do believe. I think Neo Geo had like something going with them. But yeah, that's where I played Samurai Showdown was our Pizza Hut first time. People are like, oh, it's so awesome and shit, yeah, fucking. They had like baseball stars there, some baseball stars too. That game was fucking cool too, dude. Man, SNK made some cool arcade games, man. They made some cool shit. But if you weren't a 2D fighter fan, then they probably weren't your brand for the most part. But they did make some good shmups, some good fucking like Metal Slug, was a Contra style. Like a Kari Warrior style kind of game. Like I can't remember what that's called. Something Troopers. Like
Samurai Showdown, like, I don't know if you're still talking about, but to me, after I played like Darkstalkers and I played a ton of Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown kind of reminded me of like an amalgamation of both of those, like Darkstalker, because some of the weird characters they had in Samurai Showdown, like the freaky looking characters, it was like a Darkstalker Street Fighter mixed together. You had
Right.
weapons and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because Darkstalker characters in that had weapons too, so
Right.
come on.
Yeah.
I always felt like that. It's a good game though. Just fucking
Oh
hard.
yeah, it was a classic. It was a classic in
That sounds like a natty daddy.
yeah, was that Natty Daddy? I
No,
didn't know what.
there's another Natural Ice because I told you they didn't have none. I was like,
Natty Ice. Fucking. No, it was that game was a huge deal when it first came out, and it was a big series.
Yeah.
They had Samurai Showdown 1 through 5, and then they had one called Samurai Showdown 5 Perfect. So, and that game they really perfected it, just like World Heroes Perfect.
World Heroes, yeah.
World Heroes Perfect was SNK's ultimate ripoff of Street Fighter 2. It was like it fought just like Street Fighter 2, dude. They did such a good job with that game. Like, but when you would never see it, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of SNK fighting games, you didn't see them because they had those MVS units, and it'd just be up
Right.
to whoever had it. I don't think they had to stand alone. I don't think SNK had to stand alone.
I don't know. I never saw a standalone. It
Yeah,
was
I don't
always
think they did. I
multiple
could be
games.
wrong about that, but I always saw the ones like it
Yeah.
had the little 2 or 4 slots on the marquee where you could switch out the
Yeah.
marquee thing, and then you open up the front of it, and you could bring like your fucking cartridge from home and put it in there.
I've
like-
never seen one that was just one game. I always seen where you
right.
could have,
It
like,
was a
4
red
games in
machine,
one.
and
Yep.
it was an MVS multi-video system. Because it would fucking you could put 2 or 4. Some of them just had 1, but like 2 or 4, and you just switch at the screen there, whichever one you wanted to play.
That's why I actually liked those arcade machines, because if I didn't want to play Samurai Showdown, there was always something like
Yeah, you could
said,
switch.
Metal
Yeah, and then
Slug
it
or
would,
something
and
else.
it was always cool because most of the time they'd have one of those sports games in there, and all their baseball games were fucking fun as fuck, dude. Every one of them.
I loved Metal Slug. Like a lot of times.
Metal
I'd
Slug,
play that.
yeah, Metal Slug was fucking great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they had.
Speaking
they
of
had
Metal,
good
speaking of
shmups.
Metal
They had
Slug,
good shmups.
weren't you guys talking about Metal Slug on Iconic? Like,
Metal Slug Tactical.
or was it on Good Morning Xbox? One of those
That
shows.
new one's coming.
Oh.
to
They were
Game
talking
Pass.
about-
Metal Slug. It's Metal Slug Tactics.
It was Axel last week gave a super chat. Fucking,
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, last week too here.
Super chat. And he's saying I don't play tactics tactics version because I'm a bitch or something like that.
Yeah, that was last Tuesday.
Well, we know he's a
Yeah,
bitch.
Who, me or Axel?
No, Axel.
Yeah, we know that. Hell, you know.
Well,
I would never call my brother a bitch.
The new one's coming to Game Pass, Jay. Just in case you wanted to try it. The new Metal Slug.
Oh yeah. Okay.
whatever.
Perfect.
What, that
Yeah.
tactics shit? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's out. I think it came out today.
Well, who knows? I haven't been looking forward to it because it's not my Metal Slug. Hashtag
Oh no, I'm
Not
not. I'm
my Metal Slug.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not playing that. Like, I'm not a tactics game
I ain't got time for that.
player. Yeah, I don't want to play that. No, just bring out another one. And I saw some, like, I just was reading some of the reviews of it because I was gonna like try and see what some of the screenshots, but they don't have any screenshots. You know, like they usually have screenshots of the game. So I went down, looked at that, and they're like, oh, look at these people whining because it's not another 2D side-scroller shooter. You know, I'm like, fuck you, bitch. That's exactly what I want. What are you talking about, man? That's exactly what they should have brought out. Was another.
That's what we
another
grew up
fucking Metal
on, man.
Slug.
That's why
It's
I love
fucking Metal Slug.
That's right.
I don't want a goddamn tactics Metal Slug.
No.
I want another Contra style.
Speaking-
running
Move,
sim. Go.
Doggy, move to this square. Move this character to this square. Don't
Speaking of
fuck
tactics,
that.
okay. Speaking of tactics, who here played Gears Tactics and actually enjoyed it? I'm glad nobody said yes because I tried to enjoy that game, but
I think I beat that game. Pretty sure.
really. So
No, it was either that or Halo.
I couldn't
No,
get into
Halo,
it.
Well, it was Halo.
Probably Halo
Halo
Wars.
Wars.
I
Halo Wars
played,
3 or
I
whatever it was.
played
It was on
Gears,
Game Pass.
Gears Tactics because like that was only like fucking game that was out for the 1X when it came out, right? The 1X or Series S.
I
Series
think I
S,
tried
right?
it, but I
Like,
never beat it. Couldn't get into
I
it.
tried to get into it, I just couldn't.
Yeah, no, that shit. Hell no. No.
Like, I'm surprised I played and beat Halo Wars 3 or whatever's in Game Pass. But I got into it and played it and beat it. The cinematics in it were fucking phenomenal. Like, the cinematics, the story parts were great.
See you later,
combat-
Axel. Axel's out because we called him a bitch.
No, that was already he already had that there. That was already there.
Okay.
That wasn't because of that.
Wait.
Yeah, but yeah.
He knows we love him.
If he'd have heard that, he would have said something back to us. That was already there. But yeah, Axel, if you are still listening, man,
You're not a
you're
bitch.
awesome,
You're a
but,
POS.
you're an itch. Wasn't it an itch? Isn't that what we said last week? Yeah. You don't deserve to be.
You're a
an itch.
biatch!
A biatch. Yeah.
That's what she said.
A biatch. I remember that on Jay Leno. They were doing new products and shit. They came down to the inn and a fucking. Oh, he's like, here's a new drink. It's by it's sponsored by, or it's brought to you by Ludacris. It's called Yo. Instead of Yoo-hoo, it's Yo Ho. And fucking.
Yo-ho.
And he turns it around. And he's like, oh look, fortified with vitamin biatch.
Yeah.
And then Bradford Marsalis or whatever his name was over there laughing at him. He's like, Jay's like, what are you laughing at? He's like, you can tell you're a white boy by the way you said biatch, you know, fucking.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, Jay. This game looks like not appealing at all.
I know you wouldn't like it, but I mean, I like the old Mario games too.
What is this?
Isn't
What is this?
old
what you playing
Mario.
now?
Oh, I guess it is now. Maybe.
What is
I
it?
I prefer my Mario 2D side scroller.
Yeah, I prefer Super Mario Brothers 3, or I can go with Super Mario World.
Super Mario
You
World
know.
on Super Nintendo is great too.
No,
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
prefer World over 3 any day. I hated 3. I
Oh,
thought 3 was so
no,
damn
3.
hard.
No, 3 was perfect, dude. With the
I'll
fucking.
I'll take either one. But,
I'll
yeah,
take
I mean,
either one, but 3 was the better one, dude. Just like with the little houses and stuff, like the random card games. Or the
Yeah.
random
Yeah,
pirate-
do you
the
remember?
random
Do you
ships,
remember
you
that
know, like-
Toad in the beginning of every single like map where you could go and get a chance to get something?
Yeah,
good?
like I just did. Did you see that? I walked into the Toad
Yeah.
and I got a prize. I got to pick a prize.
What is
I mean,
up?
Oh man, I missed that.
Splendid
Maybe,
Frizz.
mean,
I'm delayed. Maybe I'm delayed.
What did you say, Tharkus? Did Tharkus just say
He
something?
said burp.
Wait, did you just burp?
He bramped.
Okay.
I burped.
Yeah, what'd you say, Thorcus? I'm sorry. I was just saying. Hi to Splinter.
He said no. He said no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's up,
Too hard to
Splinter?
talk.
Thanks for joining.
That wasn't even him because he can't talk.
Yeah, it's too hard to talk.
Okay.
That's what he said. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed my hour or so with Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, but after the initial oh my god, this is crazy, I was over it. I'm over 3D Mario.
Wait a
Never-
minute. Oh, you mean Mario 64?
Yeah, Mario 64. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
that
I
was
told
classic.
dude.
That was
Hey,
classic.
Jago, that's what I'm saying, man. That game wasn't that great, was it?
No, I mean, yeah, it was cool to see Mario in a 3D world, but after that, I'm like.
But
can
you
I go
have to
back
admit,
my
it was the
2D
very
Mario?
first game that gave you that 3D experience with
Oh yeah.
that, you know?
Well, dude,
It
you
is
can get that by
special.
playing.
It is
You can,
special.
you can
But it
get that by
wasn't-
not even starting the game. You can just play with Mario's fucking face.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that fucking
It was
Mario
okay.
World, Mario 3 experience, man.
No. Me, like I said, pinnacle-wise was Mario with that 3 in World. I
3.
think that's their best.
Mario 3, man, it was just when it hit, man. Remember even that movie, The Wizard, that fucking led up to it. You know,
Oh,
you hadn't
yeah.
even seen the motherfucking
Yeah.
game. You know, till you saw it on that fucking movie, or you probably saw some shots maybe in a magazine or whatever. But and yeah, and you just played that game for the first time. It was so cool. I love the way you had to run at the end of the level, and you hit that little box, and if you hit it at the right angle, you got a
Yeah.
star every time. You know,
Oh
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
climb
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And-
That was good.
No, I mean,
Right.
I enjoy both of them. 3 and Super
Oh,
Mario
and
World.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Mario
yeah,
World,
same
I
way.
absolutely loved Mario World. I
love
think
Yoshi
Mario
in that.
3 Yeah,
I love everything about both of those.
I
those
think
are
the
my two
flying
favorites.
in 3 was better than the cape in World.
It was.
but,
It was.
Yes.
It was. I give you that. It was.
Do you,
But yeah, they were so they were both
They were
so great.
pinnacle Mario.
Yeah,
After that,
those-
they've gone downhill. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's why they had
exactly.
to. That's why they had to
those were
branch
the
out
best
and make.
too.
They make Paper Mario, Condom Mario,
Mario
Yeah, they make a-
Sunshine, like the
Mario-
vacuum. Yeah.
Mario
Yeah.
Kiss My Ass,
Mario Six Doll.
Mario Sucks You Off, and they made all these stupid Marios.
Oh my
Like-
god.
They had to, because they're not Pinnacle Mario anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Nope.
So
They had
you
to
did
branch
like
out.
Mario Sunshine?
Just like
I ain't fuck Mario Sunshine.
yeah, fuck that. Fucking
No.
next thing.
It's not
That's
my
a good
Mario.
one.
Mario fucking Brown Eye.
Mario gets divorced. Mario pays child support. You know all those.
Yeah.
those
Yeah, like I said,
wonderful-
Mario Brown Eye. You know.
Mario Brown Eye.
The
Yeah,
thing
it's just-
I still remember like
shit
3
hits rock bottom at
vividly.
that point.
Yeah.
3 Super Mario 3 I still remember that vividly as well because I was always stuck at like the ice level.
good, man.
And
Well, Mario
and the
3?
beginning, yeah, like the ice.
Well, use the fucking. You get you a
stage.
warp whistle. Get you the
Warp
warp
whistle.
whistle. You don't fucking go through that level. Yeah, that level was fucking rough.
level was
dude.
hard as
fucking-
fuck.
I
Oh,
was young,
that
doggy. I
ice
was
world
super
was
young.
fucking rough.
I was so young, and also
yeah,
the
'cause the first warp
like the
whistle-
second world was also pretty hard.
Right, but the first warp whistle, I do believe you had to beat the Hammer Brother guy, right? In,
Yeah.
in
Oh,
World
yeah.
2, in World 2, and then you
Yeah.
went all the way over to the side and broke the rock over there at the side, and then you go over there and there was a lake shaped like a 3, you know, a Roman numeral 3,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and there was a warp whistle over there. But you wanted to make it all the way through 2, and then you would go to 3. What was 3? I think you wanted to get to Giant Land before you used that.
Well,
fucking-
now it's the thing that identifies as a warp whistle. That's what they call it.
What? To what?
It's the thing. It's the thing that identifies as a warp whistle. That's what it's called now. 2024.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mario
one was
3.
Roseland,
Mario
one was
3. I'll tell you what. I
Roseland.
played Mario 3 through probably more times than any Mario, like any of the other Marios combined.
3 and World I've beat the most.
Yeah,
I
and then
can't,
World-
I can't say that. Super Mario Bros. 1 I beat the fuck out of a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah. that was,
You know what's funny?
that
I
was
could
the
be,
one on.
I used to be able to beat Super Mario 2 in 15 minutes.
I could beat one if you jump. You could jump across
Yeah.
the stages. Like, yeah, dude, I could beat one in like fucking 10 minutes, man.
You
'Cause,
just
yeah,
need to
you
know where
could-
all the warps were.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would go to that 1, 2, and you jump to the top of the stage and run over,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
would make you stop off and fucking
World 4
World 3.
or 3, whatever it was.
Three
Yeah.
if you wanted to hit that ultimate life, that not infinite life. You didn't
If
want
you
to get too
didn't,
many
you
lives.
could go to 4, right? Yeah.
But yeah, you could go to 4 and then hurry up and get to 8 like soon after that. Like.
Yep. In no time.
But if you wanted to hit in like World 3 2 and do that where you stomped on the Koopa Troopa and you
The
kept
Koopas
jumping.
and get ultimate like keep getting the
Yeah.
lives. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you didn't get too many. If you got too many, then it killed you. The next time you died, it ended your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to get too many extra lives. But yeah, fucking, yeah, you could beat that one pretty fast.
Dude, like
Those-
10 minutes or less. If you could get to the last level and kill, get past, what is his name? Fuck, I can't remember.
Bowser.
Bowser, yeah. Nothing.
Right.
He wasn't even Bowser in number 2. He was like
his
Grog
last,
or something.
His last castle, I believe, was like a maze, right? So if you didn't do it right, like you had to kind of
Yeah, yes.
you had to know
Yes,
the way
but
to go.
You had to know the way to go. If not, you would go back through the things you'd already done. You're like,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
If you did it in
Eventually.
order or the way you were supposed to, if you went the way you were supposed to, you could go right to it.
right. And then I can't remember. He was kind of tough to himself once you got to him because he did something besides the fire. Like he had
He
axes.
threw hammer. He threw
He had hammers and fucking
and fire,
and fire.
fireballs.
Yeah, and he was just and he'd throw a ton of
Ton of
hammers,
axes,
and then it would have a
hammers.
fucking just a little space, and then he'd throw a ton more, and it'd have a little space, and
And
he'd
he
have
would
that
shoot
fire
fire,
going. You'd have
too.
to time
Yeah.
that just right.
Just
then
right. You
hit
could
that
run
fucking-
underneath him.
Get that fucking axe to chop that bridge, you little hoe.
Yep.
Lol.
Yeah.
Yep.
he
I
was a
beat
hoe.
that one. I take that back. I beat that one, the first one, more than any of them. But I beat 3 and World a shit ton too.
I would just 3. I loved 3 so much. I think I would think as much as I beat 1, I think I played through 3. I remember when we had a Nintendo down at fucking Bear's house in like 2002, and he had Super Mario Brothers 3 down there. We were playing that fucking. That was that summer I fucking didn't have a fucking job or nothing either. We played through Mario 3 like a ton of times down there and shit too. Fucking man, yeah, that game was just so awesome. And
Yeah, like-
Mario World,
like-
World, yeah.
These are cool looking, but they just don't do much for me because it's like, it's not the ones I grew up on.
Nope.
They change too much for me.
You're too stuck.
Yeah. I agree.
Get
But-
your head out of your ass.
Hey, you can't beat those like 3 and fucking World, dude.
Nah,
That's-
three is my favorite. Three's my
those
favorite.
are 2 of the best Mario games. I don't give a fuck what nobody
Mm.
says.
I do want to say like Yoshi's Island, like the original, with the first time you play with Yoshi,
Yeah.
like with Baby Mario. Oh my god, that was
Yeah,
I
isn't
have
that the
played
one
that.
with the crying baby and shit?
Crying
Fucking-
Baby,
Yeah.
yeah. That one ain't bad either. I don't think I've ever beat it though. But
I don't
played
think
it.
I don't think I ever.
I didn't beat it
played
either.
it or either hardly played it or never played that. Yeah.
I played that one. I've probably played that one more than I have the 3D Mario's. I can tell you that. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the only one I've,
I've never-
ever beaten is 1.
I've never played.
Oh, you never beat the first one, Super Mario Brothers?
No, that's it. Only the first one, not even the third one, because
It's
I could
worth
never
playing.
get past a few of the levels.
It's worth
Yeah,
playing.
see in Mario
Feels like
3, in Mario 3,
Was
okay,
hard.
dude, like, okay, you had to know how to spawn those fucking card houses. You needed to be able to spawn those ships. I think they were white ships, right? And then you would beat those ships,
Yeah.
and they give you a P-wing.
Pee-wee.
And you
yeah.
had to have those fucking
Nice.
P-wings to get past them fucking ships, dude. And that
Yep.
fucking well, you didn't
You
have
could-
to.
You can
but
fly right over those bitches
You
if
could
you
fly
had
over
one.
those ships as long as you didn't fly too high. If you went too
Yeah.
high, you'd have
Oh,
to drop down
right,
every
yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
It would kill you if you went
It
too
would
high.
kill
If you
you.
didn't drop
Yep.
down. But fucking, you would have to. That's another reason you would have to hit certain
certain worlds. for certain
worlds
things. Yeah.
because you knew how to hit those fucking. And you needed a frog suit too. So you
Frog
needed to
suit,
get.
Yep.
There was a world where you got a frog suit, which I think was in Giant World or some shit. It was in one of those mushroom houses, right? So you got the frog suit there, right? So you needed to make sure you warp worlded there. Yeah.
Once you beat that game enough, I
Because
learned
that
all the
frog
tricks.
suit, you would swim underneath the lava one. You'd swim
Yep.
underneath of that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how you
I-
beat that game easy. Not easy.
Yeah, was
but
it also not the
it
first level that you take the flying suit and just go up the whole time and then just
Yeah, and you fly
up
over
in
it.
the-
Yeah. It just
yeah,
makes
and
sure
then
yeah, just don't fly too high because it'll kill
Don't
you.
fly too high, but yeah, you
Yeah.
could just go wee and just go fly over the whole motherfucker.
Yep.
yeah, there's also in the middle of the level there was like a stake and then you could go higher to the
And
like the cloud level.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was, and you would also use, you could also, you won those clouds, and you could use the clouds to skip over some of those fucking other just regular
Yeah.
levels and shit. Like, you should, in your arsenal, by the time you got to World 8, to Bowser's Castle World there, right? You should have had either 2 or 3 P-Wings, I can't remember, 2 or 3 P-Wings, a frog
two,
suit,
yeah.
and a couple of those cloud things. And you would have only have had to face like those little bridge levels. And it smelled my mom whenever you finished it, you know, fucking there was like, and all you had to do is just go over the bridge and had the fireballs going at you or whatever, like flying up and stuff. You wouldn't want to skip those. Those were easy. And any of those ships, you would use the P-Wing or that frog suit and fucking
Skip them.
yeah. And then Bowser's Castle itself wasn't too bad compared to the rest of that world. So if
No.
but you had
Yeah,
to know
the-
there was a right way to go through that. There was a right way to go through that fucking game, and
The easier way. I mean, you could try it the hard way by going through all the levels, but yeah.
and if you went through all the worlds, you would have had enough ammunition once you got to Bowser's world. To fucking yeah, it was World 8. Yeah, yeah, there was some of those. You had to go through a couple of those battleship missions, or not battleships, but they were like constant, like
airships.
tanks. They were like constant. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like constant tanks or whatever. And then one of them was like boats, and it floated on fucking lava, and you just
Yep.
swim under that with the frog suit. And yeah, there was an airship one that was fucking hard ass.
The airships
fuck.
were
And you
always
had
a-
to have a P-wing for that, or you were gonna lose all your lives on that thing, dude.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
all-
man, that fucker was
All
so
kinds
hard.
of shit flying at you and shit. Man.
I did love you had to basically destroy kill I don't know what they were like in the airships. Were that like the children of Bowser or something or?
Oh yeah,
Oh, the ones at the end of each world, yeah, they were
they were as kids.
Koopa's kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ludwig,
They were
Von
ugly as
Koopa,
they were
and
ugly as
fucking-
kids.
Yeah. Those guys were easy, man. Yeah, you just have to jump on them 3 times. Yeah.
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 No,
I can
that's
hear all that music. I can hear all that music
Pinnacle
in my
Mario
head now.
Brothers, man. Pinnacle
Man,
Mario
that was such a fucking awesome game, dude. Like, and we just played that so much. We had those. There was 3 different. Maybe it's 4. 3 or
Dear
4
God,
different-
is Nintendo what we're going to talk about all night tonight? Jesus Christ.
Well,
we
it's almost
talked-
time already, so yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you got, yeah. The whole Wii U thing kind of drug us into.
Sorry there, Paul,
Drug us
but
into-
but I am playing Nintendo games.
Oh, yeah, fan.
I-
We're watching Mario.
Hey, you know what? It's a rarity for me to actually sit and talk about Nintendo.
Yeah,
That's
I
weird.
never talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, hell,
ever.
Jago never talks about. Yeah, shit. So
If you want
I
to
was
talk about
happy.
Nintendo, I'll talk about the old Nintendo.
how about
Old
fucking
Nintendo.
like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, baby? How about that? That was a
That
fucking,
is
that
still
was
one
a
of the
fucking killer
one of
ass
the best
fucking-
best
killer
I
boxing
agree,
games
I agree.
to this day. Yes, one of the best boxing games still, dude.
Dude, I love that game. Man, God.
And all you got, if you want to see some younger generations quit on the, dude, I've seen some of these like younger kids get beat by Glass Jaw Joe. It's not even funny. I'm like,
Glass
seriously.
Joe. Yeah, shit.
Even I
Glass
can beat
Jaw?
Glass Jaw, and I'm suck at that game. So
Is that
That's
like
how
the
you know
first
they're
level?
terrible. It's the
Yeah,
first guy. He's
Oh,
legit
it's-
the first guy, easy as hell.
It really doesn't get tough until you get to like fucking the next the world circuit or whatever when you have Sandman and fucking,
maybe for you.
Yeah,
right, I
that's
get,
when-
I get,
that's when-
I know what
that's
you're,
when-
I see what you're saying, but yeah, I mean,
That's
like
when I
But
started having
but the
trouble
whole,
with
but the,
Super
whole- the
Pac-Man.
but the whole game was always about patterns and recognition.
patterns, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly, and that's what like the patterns were really easy, like in the first.
The
couple
first one that
things.
gave me trouble, first one that still gives me trouble is what? The pink guy, Soda Popinski.
Soda Popinski.
Yeah, God, he's
Soda
a
Drunkinski.
motherfucker.
Yeah, he was a fucker because he was a weird. Because he would go
Weird.
down, he would go down low for that uppercut, and it had a pause
Yep.
to it, and you would want to
Yep.
dodge.
This is a family
God.
show. We can't say go
Yeah.
down.
and
yeah,
if
he
you
goes
did,
down.
yeah, he'd go down with that soda pop, you know.
If
And
this
but-
is a family show, it's a Manson family show. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is there's no no
Yeah.
family.
We don't put our last name
Yeah.
out there like that, Paul. Come on, man.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah. We're not structured for the.
All
family
we
show
need is
here.
one of us be named Charlie, and we've got it all wrapped up. You know.
Anybody got a middle name Charlie would be sick.
My dad's name's Charlie.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. See, we have cracked the mystery here. Yeah, fucking yeah, Soda Popinski, and then the Sandman. Oh no, Sandman. The Super Macho Man guy that was
Yeah,
the
he's
champion
tough.
of it.
He's still
And then
still
of
tough.
course, Tyson or Mr.
Mike
Dream,
Tyson.
whichever one he had. Yeah, that was It's crazy. Even we beat that dude, right? And we never even knew at that fact, playing that a million times, that you could actually land a few fucking punches in that first minute and 30. We always thought you had to dodge that minute and 30 of the fucking lightning punches that would just take you down in one hit.
What's up, Splendiferous?
So you could have got some extra actual cheap
Yep.
ass punches on him. Man, that shit he was intense, dude. He was a fucking intense fucking.
What you call it? Super Punch Out's really good too.
I don't like it as much as the first one. Nothing.
Well, no, but it's still really good too. If you like,
It
Punch
was
Out.
good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. With the Nick and Rick Bruiser at the end. Them motherfuckers can make your arms go like dead. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
They literally come down on your shoulder with their elbow, and your arm would be useless.
I think they had a punch out for the Wii too, didn't they? Didn't they have a punch out?
Yeah, I think they
Well,
did.
they
I
had a
remember
boxing
playing
game. They had Wii boxing for. I know that.
Oh, it was a Wii boxing. Okay. Maybe that's
Yeah, they had Wii Boxing. That came on the Wii Sports.
Okay, so I think they had a punch out on the Wii too. I believe.
I don't remember. I think they
remember,
did, but
like,
I'm not sure.
I remember playing that at somebody's
s-
house, like.
So has anybody looked at Undisputed?
I
Undisputed.
Oh, the boxing game? No, I haven't.
I think it
most-
looks cool, but
The
like,
most realistic boxing game that's supposed to be out there right now. So yeah.
Really?
might have to ask for that one for Christmas.
I've seen it advertised.
It got mixed reviews, but I don't know what that means because I haven't dug that deep into it. So.
Right.
It,
seen
it
advertised
means
on the
somebody didn't get
dashboard.
paid enough money.
Oh, stop it. That's.
If it's a good, if it's a good boxing game, that'd be pretty cool though.
I mean, with sports games, I get bored with them fast. That's why I don't really look at them much anymore.
Right? Yeah.
The only sports games I play is NHL.
Yeah, I mean, is that was Undisputed an EA game or no?
No.
No, it's not.
No, I was gonna say, damn it, I'll wait till it comes to EA.
And actually, so in 2023, it was released on PC. In 2024, PlayStation 5 and Xbox. So it's actually a year old before it came to consoles. But
Really?
So wasn't
I
Fight,
didn't know-
Fight Night for the longest time the most realistic fighting game?
Oh no, it was
It
EA.
was
I
one
mean,
of the
that
best.
was-
One of the best ones people.
It's
always
pretty much
talk
the
about.
only one too, right? I mean, like.
Yeah.
I just
And
remember being
okay,
really
so like,
impressed
does
with the
this one?
graphics.
So does this Undisputed? Does this have like, and I'm not
I'm-
up on like, but since I have the WBC and the WBA.
It has. I
and the-
can
all
tell
the-
you Doggy. I can tell you right now. I'm reading the same thing. The game features 3 of the 4 major boxing organizations: World Boxing Council, World Boxing Organization, and the
WBC,
International Boxing
WBO.
Federation.
Yeah, WBF. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Damn. So they got the license and shit for it. That's pretty
As
fucking-
well as the Ring magazine, whatever the fuck that is.
I have no fucking.
a Ring magazine is a big deal in the boxing industry. That's basically
okay.
That's where you go for all information about boxing, basically.
Okay, well it has that in the game too.
Speaking of boxing, when's Tyson fighting Jake Paul?
It's like 3 weeks. Like I think the 15th actually, the 15th, November 15th. So.
Okay.
Oh, so
Finally.
next Friday? Next Friday then, huh?
Well, 2 weeks because give or take.
Yeah, next 2 weeks.
Finally.
10 days from now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I'll watch
Next Friday,
that.
or
I don't watch
guess-
a
yeah,
lot
I
of
guess
boxing, but I'll watch
Friday or
that.
Saturday, something like that.
Oh, it's
I'm
just
hoping
public
it's a real
question,
boxing
so-
match, which means that Jake Paul will end up on his ass. But
Do you guys
Yeah,
want to
when
know
is it?
the last time I watched a boxing match was when Mike Tyson fought Michael Sphinx.
oh, that was a joke.
Yeah, he beat him in like one. Was it like? Did he beat him on one round or in like 90 seconds or something?
It was a very short thing to pay thousands of bucks for ringside seats. For.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to
Right.
tell you the last time I actually paid attention to a boxing match? When Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I was into boxing like back then. Like
Back in the
everybody's
day,
into
yeah.
boxing back then. Yeah, Mike Tyson, fucking Buster Douglas, fucking Holyfield, fucking that kind of
But
shit.
I really like after that when I not too long after I got into the military and I started watching UFC a lot.
Right, we used to get like the UFC fucking pay-per-views until they had 4 pay-per-views a fucking month, and it was like, fuck,
Yeah.
dude, like, whoa, like $60 every fucking week. Like, you have to be fucking kidding me, like,